Good morning, I'm Eric Reeser. The Guardians made it 6 straight last night with a 4-0 shutout over the Tigers in Detroit. Gavin Williams struck out 9 in 5 innings of work. Guardians can break out the brooms on the Tigers with a win today in Detroit at 110. Cleveland enters Thursday 4.5 games back in the AL Central, but only 2.5 back of the AL wildcard. Guardians have 10 games left after today. Same number remains for the Reds. Cincinnati climbed to 500 on the season with a 6-2 win over the Cardinals yesterday in St. Louis. Redlegs are 2 back in the NL wildcard. Cincinnati begins a 7-game homestand tonight hosting the Cubs at 7:15. Hear that one over on the Fan, too. In soccer last night, the Crew fell to NYCFC 3-2 at Yankee Stadium. Columbus is currently 7th in the East with 49 points. Black and Gold are back at lower.com field Saturday hosting Toronto with 3 matches left after that. And in college football, number 1 Ohio State's on the bye this week. OSU's at Washington next Saturday at 3:30. Hear the Ryan Day radio show today at noon on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Tom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only 2 guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. Loaded up, 9:30, Angelique Chingalis, Detroit News on Michigan at Nebraska. One of a couple of games in the Big Ten. Big Ten's got a couple of spicy matchups. That's the one I'm most curious in. If Matt Rule has finally got a little bit of program momentum. Can they have what would be a program-defining win? And, yeah, that's where they are now as a program, is if they can beat a one-loss Michigan team with a freshman quarterback, that would be a program-defining win at Nebraska at these moments. We'll get some perspective from the Michigan side of that coming up at 9:30. 10 o'clock, your emails. The mailbag is jammed full. It's just completely jammed full. Lots to get through on that. We'll get to those at 10 o'clock. Paul Finebaum drops by at 10:30. At 11 o'clock, we attempt to beat the house. Went pretty well in week 1, went not well, for me at least, in week 2. So we need to rebound on the NFL side of things. We'll see how all of that goes. This is anecdotal. I'll acknowledge that. So I don't know if this is something that you all are seeing in your communities, in your towns, with your teams or not. I don't know. But I went to an eighth grade football game last night, NBC's 8th grade football game. And for some background, their first game of the year, so we were Division II, 250 kids in a grade is kind of what it works out. I think the high school's around 1,200 enrollment, something like that. 250 kids in the grade, a little bit more, give or take. That's the numbers that you're dealing with here. It's Division II football is the classification, and the teams in our conference that we play in middle school and that inevitably play in high school, those teams are also, for the most part, Division II, although there are a couple of Division Is in there as well. So that's kind of the backdrop on this thing. First game of the year for the 8th graders was canceled because one of the schools that would be considered a traditional rival could not field an 8th grade football team. Didn't have enough kids to be able to play. Oh, that's alarming to me that a school of this size wouldn't be able to field a football team. So fast forward to last night, playing a rival school that would be a rival school. They're probably not quite on our level, but that's fine. Sometimes that happens. Their bus pulls up, and 16 kids get off. 16. This is Division II, 11-man football. It's just 8th grade, not 7th and 8th, but just 8th grade. 16 kids get off the bus. And the other thing that we've seen is an incredible separation between the haves and the have-nots. The top is really, really good. The middle is non-existent. And then there's a bottom. And for the teams in the bottom, when they play one of the teams at the top, and we're not the top, but we're in that conversation, you can make the score whatever you want it to be, kind of. It's a massive gap. And so I was talking with a couple of other dads who have kids on the team, and I'm like, what has happened to football? How has this happened that these we're not fielding teams, or these numbers are so far down? So I started to look into it. And across the state, since 2005-06, enrollment is down 13% in the last 15 to 20 years or so, depending on which study you look at. But it seems to be kind of a consensus, down 12 to 15% over the last 15 to 20 years in terms of youth football participation, and then which that leads to high school football participation. So that's down a little bit too. Now, there is a slight bit of ray of hope here if you love the sport. The numbers are up slightly since COVID. So they're down overall, but the overall low was around 18, 19, and then it's been coming up a little bit over the last couple of years. But either way, this led me to go down a bunch of different rabbit holes in terms of why this happened and what's causing this and where it is. And I think there's myriad. I don't think anybody did anything wrong necessarily. I think there's a mentality shift. I've kind of come to the conclusion. I think there's a mentality shift among kids, and I do a lot of youth sports coaching. And there's almost like a mentality with the kids and the parents, whereas if I'm not a starter or if I'm not a dude, then I don't want to play. And I think in a bygone era, there was probably so much value in, are you on the team? Oh, you're on the team? You're on the football team? Doesn't matter what your role is. There was value in that. There was a big value in that. And I actually think this part's pretty good. There are so many more options for kids to do now. I mean, I'm an old guy. There weren't that many options. You played football especially where I was, ultra rural. You played football in the fall. You played basketball in the winter. And you played track and field in the spring. We didn't even, in Montana, baseball wasn't even a sanctioned sport. You played American Legion baseball in the summer. You didn't have, for your team, for your school, it didn't exist. But there were less options. I think kids have a lot more options now. But I also think there's a little bit of a mentality shift of, if I'm not a dude or I'm not on the A team, then I don't want to, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I think that what you're seeing is, I mean, even at the varsity level, when I see like a varsity Division II football team run out and they got 42 kids on the team or 38, I'm like, where are they? Where's everybody else? And I do think this is something that's happened. And I'm not here to tell you that this is good or bad. I don't have a black or white take on this, but it's different. And it's gotten different over the last 15 or 20 years. Good or bad, you can draw your own conclusions to that, but we are definitely not where we used to be with this sport in terms of it's never been more popular in the professional level, in the college level. It's never been more popular, but that feeder system is at the very beginning of it, at the genesis of it, is youth football. And those numbers are down kind of across the board.
I think part of this is the AAU and travel ball circles. Right? Like if you don't get playing time on a team, you just leave and go to another team.
Or you quit.
Where I'm going to be the star, right? Like, well, this team doesn't want to have me. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to get to play. I also think there is a lot of concern with football and concussions. And people may not be putting their kids in football at 5 and 6 years of age anymore, and maybe kids aren't loving it. Maybe they're finding other sports and want to play that, or maybe parents just aren't letting their kids do it, right, until high school, and maybe you don't have the love for it then or the want to, or sometimes you're so far behind, unless you're a really talented kid, you're not going to get to play. Like, you're so far behind, you don't even have a shot. You're seeing that a lot. I'm seeing a lot of teams, Bo, that maybe have a freshman team and a varsity team, but they don't have enough kids to have a JV team. Yes. A lot of teams don't have freshman teams. Maybe everyone's just playing on the JV team. So you're getting a lot of that, while football is, like you said, the most popular sport in the country. Just a lot of kids aren't playing it because parents are afraid of concussions and health issues and things like that.
I do think that's why you're seeing
factors. Go ahead, Reese.
I was just going to say, I think that's why you're seeing the NFL pivot so hard into flag football.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where they see a decrease, or at least it would tell me they see a decrease in younger kids playing tackle football and an increase in younger kids or availabilities for flag football, much to Baker's point about parents being concerned about concussions. Completely understandable. I think there are just more options. Sure. To your point earlier, because I remember growing up, you had football and you had soccer. Yeah. That was kind of all of the options in fall. And now, baseball and lacrosse was it was getting more popular growing up. Obviously in UA, it's the sport. But in other communities, it was starting to grow in popularity. And I just think with the more options you have, it leaves less for football.
That's a very good point, because you bring up lacrosse and baseball, the two examples that you used. Both of those, if you want to, you can play year-round. You can play fall. There's fall lacrosse going on right now. I mean, my two younger ones who don't play football, they're doing that now. There's fall basketball now if you want it. You want a fall league? Get you in a fall league. Everybody's out there to make money. So, yeah, I think those things factor in it. And your point is very astute on the NFL flag issue, Reese. Yeah, they see it. That's what that's about. But what you need to have, and I've seen it firsthand, and I think that's a big part of it, because you take a kid who's bigger as a fifth grader and you say, you're a left tackle. And you say, you're going to be left tackle the rest of your life.
I don't do that.
And a kid goes, yeah, no, and I love Joe Thomas. But nobody as an 8-year-old is like, yeah, I want to be a left tackle. They don't. They want to catch the ball. They want to throw it. And so I do think if you kept flag in longer, that would help. Again, I don't have the answers to this. But one thing that does seem, the conclusion that I came to on this is these numbers it's a wild juxtaposition, because while the numbers are down and down significantly over the last 10 to 15 years, the sport has never been more popular. But you have to continue to have people playing the sport to keep it there. No crisis now, but it was noteworthy that schools of this size can't field teams. One last point on this, and I do think this is really important. Where I grew up in Montana, there was the biggest classification, which was 11-man. Then there was 8-man football, and there was also 6-man football. And I do think it's really important that the smaller communities in this state, and the OHSAA, if it needs to jump in on this, they need to make sure that these teams can play, that these schools can play. You lose the football teams, the next thing you lose is the school. If there are numbers that are ultra small, play 8-man. Don't hold on to this 11-man thing like grim death. Make sure that there are options for the smaller communities, Big.
And I know Millersport did that a couple years ago. They did. Yeah. They couldn't field a team, so they had the 8-man. I think Rosecrans did that one year as well. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, Bo, a lot of times the smaller communities, like those communities out in the MAC conference that we talk about, the Marion Locals, the Coldwaters, the Versailles. Like those schools are having no problem. They've got 100 kids, 100 boys in the school, and 70 of them are on the football team.
Well, those are probably anomalies among anomalies. The mighty MAC. That's a different level all to itself.
But there's a lot of places like that around, like Kirtland up in Cleveland and Ironton down south. Absolutely. There are some places where it's always going to be like that.
Where it just matters. And it's just part of the DNA. It's what you do in the fall. You go play football. That's it. But anyway, it just seemed unfathomable to me that 16 kids. I mean, we played at the smallest classification. We never had less than 18 kids on our team, ever. And the idea that you had 16 8th graders was stupefying to me. All right, we've got, I got to give you a little more baseball coming your way, kids. That and the NCAA with a decision on the transfer window. We'll get to all of that coming up next. We're off and running on a Thursday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus. It's fall or autumn, as the losers like to say. What does that mean in the car world? That means places like Jermaine Lexus want to clear out all of their 2025 inventory to make room for the 2026 models. And for you, the customer, that means big savings. Take advantage of their lack of space with aggressive pricing. They also have plenty of L-certified vehicles on the lot for the fall collection sales event. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my friends. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, JermaineLexus.com.
Thank you for calling Spectrum. My name is Angie, and I'm in Orlando, Florida. How can I help you today?
Great. You're still there. It must be like 3 a.m.
We're always here 24/7. What can I do for you?
I know it's late, but I wanted to ask you about the best place to set up my router.
It's never too late. We'll have you up and running in no time.
Only Spectrum has 24/7, 100% U.S.-based customer support. It's only everything. Spectrum fiber-powered internet. It's the fastest and most reliable internet. Go to Spectrum.com to learn more.
It's the Ohio Lottery's all-new $520 or $100 scratch-off. With 3 simple cash prizes, it'll have you saying,
Wow, that's what I call winning.
with tracks like... And the anthem celebrating the first of its kind $2 ticket. The $520 or $100 scratch-off is an absolute hit. Ohio Lotto's got Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. It's time to ditch the traffic jams and the rat race and take in that crisp morning air, the crackle of a warm campfire. With RCD RV's Fall Into Adventure sale, you can. September 15th through the 30th, you can cozy up to incredible deals. Sale pricing on all remaining new 2025 models. And RCD has travel trailers starting under $12,995, as well as pre-owned motorhomes priced under $39,995. Visit one of our 3 locations: Delaware, Heath, Pataskala. Shop online anytime at rcdrv.com.
For years, you've been hearing us talk about the Newman Roofing difference, delivering nothing short of an excellent customer experience each and every single time, from the first phone call to the end of your project. But don't take our word for it. Take a listen to our friend John and his Newman Roofing experience.
Well, the first thing that drew me to Newman Roofing is the extraordinary Google score of 5.0. That was the first indication to me that this was going to be a good experience. Overall, the experience with Newman Roofing was wonderful. When I came home, the job was completely finished. The crew had cleaned up and left. I wouldn't have known that they were there.
What star rating would you give Newman Roofing on Google?
I would, without hesitation, award Newman Roofing a 5-star rating on Google.
Any advice for those looking for a new roof, John?
Once you have contact with Newman Roofing, you'll understand why everybody's giving them a 5-point rating.
Do what John did and schedule your free roof or siding consultation with Newman Roofing. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online today at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, you might not be big on technology, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Maybe you've gone through a divorce or a bad breakup, or a relative moved out. It's been hard, and you just want to take what you want and leave the rest behind. I will help you. Retiring and want to sell your commercial properties or land. I will help you. Sellers, whether you're selling as is or selling for top dollar, you're no longer alone. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the sunglasses, and you'll want to have ways to stay cool. Yet again, we have plenty of sunshine today, light winds and highs getting into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. We'll get down into the 60s again tonight with mostly clear skies, and then we end the work week dry and sunny with daytime highs soaring into the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice is currently bathing himself in creamy jalapeno dip. And I've officially run out of ways to tease this show. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, this happened yesterday. I'm going to be very candid with you. I don't know. I really don't know who's when this is the NCAA. I don't even know what authority they have. I don't even know what interest they have in governing anything. I guess they still have control over everything other than football in terms of the way that they crown their national champions. And sometimes I forget that all these other sports are happening too, and they have transfer portals as well. So I think there's a lot of layers to this, but let's start here. The NCAA announcing the administrative committee eliminated the spring transfer window and the fall transfer window's graduate student exemption. Their proposal for a single January transfer portal window is between January 2nd and the 11th. The length of the window is not set in stone, but will be discussed at another meeting in October. Also notable is the entire month of December will be a recruiting dead period, while January 5th through the 31st would remain a recruiting period. Brian Fisher, Sports Illustrated, said, so basically most coaching hires will be made before January 4th. I'll tell you what is most notable of this, if they are keeping, and I don't see anything in this, and I didn't see anything yesterday that would tell me otherwise, if they are keeping the National Signing Day in December, that's borderline insane to close recruiting in December. How the hell are you going to police that in football?
You're not policing any of this.
No. No. But like, they have got to, college football has got to separate. And it has to have its own rules and its own parameters that make sense for it. This is a microcosm of what has been an NCAA problem across multiple sports, whereas they think they can judge the rule. They can have a rule of law that is both the rule of law for Ohio State and Ohio Wesleyan. Like, those two things are not similar in any way, and you can't try to act like they are. So the same, I would say, is true of football. You cannot have rules in place like these for everything else and then expect football to be able to live by them. If it is a dead recruiting period in December, how in the heck, how many kids did we have in the portal last year? Was it 1.8 million? 1.8 million kids.
At least one or two more than there were at the Cavs parade in 2016, I think.
Thinking it was like 1.8 million kids were in the portal. How in the blue hell are they going to get recruited, find a home, visit another school in 9 days? The answer is they're not. And so there will be tampering that happens only always. And the ability to police it is impossible. So my feeling on this is, as college football goes, I'll believe it when I see it. I just don't see any scenario how this is policeable, enforceable in any way. And my guess is, just like the defensive back from Wisconsin, you'll have guys just leave and go to schools they want and say, stop it.
Yeah, and there's been no update on that, because I think they were going to go to court over it.
Yeah.
And like the Big Ten was going to support Wisconsin in that endeavor. But there's just been crickets with this. Mm-hmm. Of interest to me yesterday in that announcement, which had one thing of note and then several more items that were going to be discussed at later dates, obviously, was no mention of the College Sports Commission. No. Because remember, that's supposed to be a thing.
Right.
And we've gotten just radio silent on that one, because they're paying a baseball lawyer $1 million to do exactly what?
I don't know.
Right. And none of this is enforceable, because you'll throw it in front of a judge and they will laugh at you. Almost to the point of like they welcome these sorts of things to go in front of a judge and have that judge laugh at you.
It does seem that way. Yeah. Yeah, it does. You need your own rules. You need to separate. And honestly, if you separated, then maybe you can never put all of this genie back in the bottle, but let's just call football its own thing and run it separately as its own separate business. There's just no reason to try to have rules that apply to all of these things, Bake.
Then how are you going to have 36 sports, Bo? You got to keep all the boats afloat, right?
Buddy, you actually can do it. You can do it as it was intended, as true student athletes. You could still do it. You just separate it. There was never anything.
I feel like that's more lawsuits coming, though.
Well, true, but there was never anything in the mission statement of intercollegiate athletics that said that somebody that was on the pistol team has to be treated the same way as someone on the football team. Like, you don't have to do that.
In fact, I would give more respect to the people on the pistol team, because I don't want to mess with anybody on the pistol team.
I walked right into that. That's the worst example I could have given. You can't. There was nothing that said a male athlete who plays on the volleyball team should be given the exact same treatment as someone who's on the football team. Those two things are different. I don't want any. I'm all for pistol. Give them whatever they want. Private jets, whatever you need on that front. But yeah, I don't see any scenario how any of this is enforceable or will do much of anything. All right, you got a couple of minutes on your baseball. I'll tell you this. So I went to pick up food after NBC's football game last night, and pretty good crowd around the bar watching. This was on. I mean, we were jacked up. They were pretty jacked up for it. And then the Gardos just keep winning.
Understandably, yeah. I mean, this is anytime you get to beat Detroit, anytime you're playing the Tigers really at the end of the season, even if you're in it or not, I think is always going to bring people together. The 86-degree weather probably gives a lot of people an excuse to go out to the ballpark or go out to the bar. The windows are open. You have a nice drink. But the run that the Guardians are on right now, they made it 6 in a row. They're pitching really well. Like Gavin Williams has been great late. Parker Messick's come along. Even Tanner Bybee's played pretty well. They're 11 games over 500, 2.5 back of the wild card. They've got the Tigers 3 more times. It is conceivable if the Tigers keep falling on their face like this, you might catch them in the Central.
That's what I was just going to say. Like, are we looking at this the wrong way with the Guardians?
4 more games left between Cleveland and Detroit. They've got the series finale today at 1:10, but then 3 more in Cleveland next week, I believe.
If you're the Guardians and you can win all 4 of those games, because as you mentioned, Reese, they got today, which is at 1:10, and then they've got the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th at home. Like, if they win all of those games, you're a half game behind the Tigers. Like, should they be thinking bigger here?
Yeah,
should they be thinking Central?
Yeah, go win it.
I was.
Yeah.
A month ago, I wasn't, because that's just the roller coaster I go on with this team.
And it does feel like, and again, I'm not in this like I used to be, but it does feel like
it's infectious.
It is, and it does feel like this is like ripe for Detroit to fall on their face. It feels like that's what they've become, So it feels like it's ripe for it.
Good.
Reds stay alive too, right, Bake? Nice 6-2 win over the Cards. I know you've unplugged since
who cares?
August 15th. You're out.
Who cares? I'm not. Listen, I see the smile on Reese's face and the optimism and the hope. I got none of it. Black heart over here. Next year's our year.
Next year's what it is. Last night, Crew fell to NYCFC 3-2 at Yankee. They're still playing at Yankee Stadium.
They were supposed to play at Citi Field, but it got waterlogged. And Citi Field people were like, no, we can only do baseball on this thing. That's like, well, you shouldn't be doing soccer on the baseball stadium anyway.
No, you probably shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing that anyway.
I saw some Crew Twitter last night that was very unhappy that this game was being played on the baseball field. They're like, it's not big enough. This isn't conducive. We shouldn't be doing this, all of that.
Oh, by the way, I give you, this is almost becoming like a daily routine, a daily ritual. So last night, the Flip movies, and I know we have some movie stuff because apparently I took some strays last night, yesterday from AR. My great friend AR, loyal friend AR, came right at me. I hate to see it.
At you?
I guess. I haven't heard it, so we'll play it for you a little bit. But the Flip last night was Wedding Crashers and The Town. Come on.
It's a gift, Todd.
I saw Wedding Crashers. Come on, because I had was that Paramount it was on, I believe.
One of them.
And I had like 2.5 Men on in the background while I was doing some work, and I was already decided I was switching the channel at 8:00 for something else.
Yeah.
But I saw the beginning come on, and it was really hard to change that channel.
How can you flip it?
I mean, just the beginning. I didn't even see it. I heard the music, and I was like, oh, baby. Here we go.
The idea that you can go from that to like Ben Affleck and Shine, and this is the non-blanking around crew. Like, come on, how is flipping not undefeated? I'm the last man who's out there living this beautiful life. But
Rule
it's a
76, no excuses. Play like a champion.
That's when we jumped in. Was grab a little bit of the sacrament, get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot. Angelique Chingalis on Detroit, from the Detroit News on Michigan football. Big one for them. They're at Nebraska on Saturday, 2 minutes away. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and football season is here at Columbus, and Germain Toyota of Columbus has the winning plays. Drive home a brand new 2025 Tacoma SR5, just $269 a month for 36 months, 10,000 miles a year. Or power up with the Tundra, now just 1.75 APR for 72 months. Don't wait. These deals, they won't last long. Stop by Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or shop anytime at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota of Columbus. See dealer for details.
Script Ohio necklaces, Blocko earrings, Ohio State bangles, and more. You'll find an exclusive collection of luxury Buckeye jewelry you'll love at the Diamond Cellar, starting at $99. Show your Buckeye love at the Diamond Cellar, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Dormar, you're kind of hero. It's always a good day at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship. September 18th through 21st at the Scarlet Course. PGA Tour's rising stars compete, Hub 13 drink specials, and more. Get free tickets today at ncc-golf.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Back to work, school, it's all happening. It's real life. Routine shouldn't be a bad word. How about winning rhythm? Losing weight every week with Awaken 180 and looking forward each day in every weigh-in. Fast results online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. We had it on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. One of the great friends of the program, Angelique Chingalis, covers Michigan at the Detroit News, and she joins us there. Angelique, thank you so much for taking the time. I said this watching Julian Sayin play against Texas. I think he could have handled a lot more than what Ryan Day was giving him. I feel kind of the same about what's happened with Underwood. I came in here after week 1 and I said he is special. Actually thought they probably could have given him a little bit more at Oklahoma, and then last week you get Central Michigan. You've been front row seat for all of it. What have you made of what Underwood is or what he can become?
Totally agree with you, Bo. I mean, I think that a lot of people were very frustrated with whatever that game plan was at Oklahoma. I mean, it should have involved Bryce a little bit more. He looked a little confused. He had some freshman moments there, and there were some miscommunications. But hey, I really liked his fiery attitude on the sideline, kind of going after Justice Haynes when they had their little spat on the sideline that was caught on camera. I thought that showed some fire, and that this guy's, he's a freshman, but he's a leader. And I think that they did coach a little handcuffed in that game, and Sharon Moore afterwards was saying, well, if you're going to run, because everyone's like, why isn't he running? This is something that could really open this offense. And he's like, well, if you do that, you better have 2. And that's sort of indictment on where Michigan is in terms of their quarterback room. And apparently Biff Poggi, with Sharon's blessings last Saturday, definitely opened things up for Bryce, and that was a positive heading into the Big Ten opener this weekend at Nebraska.
That Central Michigan game, kind of a palate cleanser, right? Like, let's get back to what we're going to be. This is Sharon will miss this one too. So this suspension is different than the one with Harbaugh, right? In that you guys saw him at Nebraska and then he's gone, right? Do I have that right?
He was
or Oklahoma.
He was, yes, right. We saw him after Oklahoma. He was able to coach the week heading into Central Michigan. And I was very confused by that. I went back and looked at because I thought that he was missing the 2 weeks, and everybody thought that. We were all very perplexed in Oklahoma when he's like, well, no, I'll be there next week. And so he has not been at the building at all this week, can't communicate with the team. And then at 1 minute before midnight, before the pumpkin changes, he is back with the team after the Nebraska game.
Okay. All right. So that's where it stands. This is obviously a massive game from the Nebraska side of things. And I've been there, you've been there. And it's when the Big Ten added them, the thinking was, okay, now this is this part of the region. This is going to be a football powerhouse. It hasn't clicked. However, for whatever reason, it just hasn't been that. But we've been through this road before. I remember Ohio State going there once with Scott Frost, and game day was there. And Angelique, it was almost like, from Scott's perspective, don't come now. We're not there yet. And he was right. It ended up being pretty lopsided. Your experience when Michigan plays Nebraska in terms of what that program has been since it's come in, and then juxtaposed to how big of a game this is for this Michigan team.
Well, it is huge for Nebraska, too. I mean, you're right. it's a program that I was talking to Dominic Raiola the other day because his son's the quarterback, and Dominic played with the Lions for so many years, 14 years. And, it was rough for him seeing Nebraska take the nosedive it did. But Michigan fans saw that, too, after Lloyd Carr retired. There was a 10, 11, 12-year gap where, is Michigan going to get back? And we were talking about how important it is for college football to have the, quote-unquote blue bloods back. And Nebraska being one of those. And, he didn't say, yes, my son can do this, bring it back. But he said that was really one of the motivations for Dylan to go to Nebraska, to try to resurrect that program. And Matt Rule certainly has he's definitely got that. I think he's got the coaching chops to do that, but they need a big win. They haven't had a big win. I was looking back at the records against Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, and there's been a little bit of success there, but not much. And they're coming off of two big wins over Akron and Houston Christian, and they struggled against my alma mater, Cincinnati, in the first game, but they're coming in with a lot of momentum too, and a very good quarterback. I think he's probably sick of hearing everybody talking about Bryce Underwood, because this guy was a pretty good quarterback coming out of high school. But yes, I think it is your classic measuring stick game for Michigan too. I think we learn a whole lot about where Michigan is, and I think for me in particular where this offensive line is, because to me the future of this team this season really hinges on what they can get out of that group.
Yeah, and it's funny. And by the way, that's why Angelique's so good. Like, to get Dylan's dad to, that's a great job out of you to have that tie in with the Detroit part. Great job. But in terms of, it's also a little bit of mirrors in the sense that both of those programs. Dylan, Nebraska had to get Dylan. They had to, or it's an indictment on what Rule is trying to build there. And I think in a way, Michigan had to get Bryce. And they were able to get organized on the NIL front to make it happen. And it did feel that way to me, that like if they didn't get him, my God, he's in their backyard. If they can't get him, who do they get?
Well, what about C.J. Carr? He was in their backyard too, and they didn't get him. And he's at Notre Dame and looking very good. And that was partly because Matt Weiss was the quarterback coach here, not a great recruiter, and couldn't really get some kind of relationship going with the Carrs, which – and another indictment, he is Michigan legacy, tenfold. Both of his grandfathers were very important parts of the Michigan football fabric. And, so I agree with you. Where you're going with that is they needed to get Bryce Underwood, because I'm really not sure what this quarterback room would look like without him right now.
No, me either. I'll get you out of here on this one. So during the Nebraska game, and I'm curious what the folks at Michigan, where they are with all of this. I saw certainly some tweeting with Dave Portnoy, and we've been dealing with that for a month down here, going all the way back to the Texas game of hey, Sharon, let the kid loose. And it's well documented how Bryce ended up there. And this is it's a Michigan example, but my hunch is this is something that's going on around the country, which is, hey, wait a second, I wrote the check for this kid. I need to see him play. Now, I don't know if that's exactly what Dave was doing, but he's got a big following, and he kind of put it out there. How is all of that going behind the scenes?
It's a great question, because I asked Ward Manuel about this in, I think it was December at the bowl game. I said, when you're getting all these donors involved now, how do you keep it from that? From, hey, I donated $4 million for this kid. When is he going to get on the field? And he said that he's made it clear, and that's not going to happen when they talk to these donors, and that the donors at that point had never said that they were going to flex that way. Now, Portnoy, from my understanding, even though he's talked a lot about being involved in Bryce Underwood, he had nothing to do with the check that was written for Bryce Underwood. So I take everything he says with a little bit of a grain of salt. But yeah, I think it's a legit concern. I really do, because that's your quote unquote investment, and you want to see your investment succeed. And I think it's going to put some undue pressure on coaches to get guys in there a little bit earlier, or unleash them a little bit earlier than they want to.
Yeah, no, it just popped because of the Michigan example, but I'm guessing it's happening everywhere every week. Angelique, great stuff as always. Always enjoy your conversation. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it.
All right, there she goes. Angelique Chingalis covers Michigan football at the Detroit News on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. So is this a trial? I have not listened to this audio. I understand that AR had some comments about a conversation we had on this show. Is it the trial of me or you?
He came to my defense.
Oh, God.
He is not in your camp, Bo.
All those years with AR.
You think you know a guy.
All right. Well, we'll do it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. Bobcat Enterprises says thank you for your support as they celebrate 50 years of serving the construction industry. Established in 1975 in Cincinnati, Bobcat Enterprises has expanded to 9 stores to meet you where you are in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. Find equipment for any construction project, including compact track loaders and excavators. Plus, Bobcat Enterprises rents compact equipment and attachments. Find current specials and locations at bobcatent.com or follow Bobcat Enterprises Inc. on Facebook. Bobcat Enterprises, 50 years working for you.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Don't miss the Ultimate Car Show tomorrow night at Valley Ford of Columbus. It's 4 GTs versus classic Ferraris, food trucks, live music, and tons of show cars. Everyone's invited. Drive your car in to show it off. This Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. at Valley Ford of Columbus.
Get the MVP, more value price from Coghlan Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% financing on a new 25 Kia Sorento or 3.49% on a new 25 Telluride. Visit CoghlanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you.
Based on January to December 2024 retail sales, 0% for 48 months and 3.49% for 60 months equals $2,083 and $1,819 for 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. All qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
Would you enjoy watching a football game if the officials were paid a bonus for every flag they threw? Or a basketball game where the refs got paid for every foul they called? Okay, how about hiring a furnace and AC company that pays its technicians by the number of parts they can sell you? Hi, this is Dennis, president of Care Heating and Cooling, and today, this is how many companies operate. They call it performance pay, and it rewards technicians by paying them more for billing you more. Why is this bad? Because it abuses your trust in a technician to be treated fairly and honestly. At Care, we've been family-owned for 31 years and have always paid our technicians by the hour for repairs. We'll show you exactly what needs to be fixed and why, and give you our low upfront cost before we start. And unlike other companies, our technicians will never be rewarded for throwing more flags. Our Central Ohio-based staff is here for you 7 days a week. Care Heating and Cooling. Book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com or call us at 1-800-COOLING. When you need a company you can trust.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place. And today we're in my showroom so you can hear how our windows keep sound out.
It's pretty loud in here, Wilson.
Well, Leslie, that's because the window's open. But if you close it like so, well, it's kind of good to let in a little nature.
I think nature just honked at us, Wilson. Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rated the leading window brand at PellaColumbus.com.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you.
Other stations in town have started using AI voices. It's because they're cheap and they think you're stupid. Well, we may think you're stupid, but we don't think you're cheap, damn it. We're live and local with real people. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination. It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. 10 feet tall and bulletproof isn't just a saying, it's a way of life. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are. It's your Uncle Bo here. You can feel that crisp morning air, the leaves crunching under your boots, the crackle of a warm campfire, fall camping. It's pure magic. You ready to get outdoors? You know that you are. With RCD's RV's Fall into Adventure sale, September 15th through the 30th, you can cozy up to incredible deals on all remaining 2025 models. That's right, all of them. Picture yourself by the campfire, surrounded by autumn leaves, or planning that perfect Halloween camping trip in your new RV. Visit one of our 3 locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Don't miss the fall savings at RCDRV. They're the best, and now is the time. Nothing better than this time of year to get out into nature and enjoy it all. All right, yesterday on the show, in Thing or Not a Thing, Reese brought it to my attention that Heat is getting a sequel. And during the revelation that Heat was getting a sequel, now see, Heat's not one of my, it's not like one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time, but it's way up there. And it's certainly one that, to me felt like if you're of my age, that it was a seminal movie that you should have seen. That was my feeling on it. During this exchange, it came to light that Bake had not seen it. You were aware of it, though, right? But you'd never seen it?
I didn't remember it. Like, in hindsight now, after we talked about it, I do remember, like, there was a movie named Heat, and Al Pacino was, like, the main character in it, and De Niro's in it, too. But I for some reason, Pacino is the guy that I remembered was in it, but never seen it. Never really even thought of it since.
Okay, so I'll give no more background than that. And then yesterday, I understood that we were there was litigation on Rothman Ice of the validity of the arguments. So I've not heard this.
Yeah, so they were obviously listening to the show. Good. And this starts off with Cole asking the question. I think it's one of their To Tell the Truths.
Okay. Right.
And he asks about our conversation.
All right, go ahead.
Is he one of the best movies of the last 50 years?
I don't think my boy Bo needed to throw that in at the end. One of the best movies of the last 50 years. All right. I'm going to back Baker on this, and that this is not a movie from the 90s that he should be ashamed that he hasn't seen because it has De Niro and Pacino in it. This is one of those classic over the top done crime dramas. While it is good, I can't. You know what this would have been like? Let's put this on a level playing field. Let's not say, oh, Ryan Baker, I can't believe you haven't seen Titanic. Like, okay, that one was an iconic movie.
Or speaking of De Niro and Pacino, how about you haven't seen Godfather? Okay, I could get there. I'm on Team Ryan Baker here. I've never seen it.
And I just don't think it's one of those that, first of all, to his credit, to Ryan's credit, this is never on. This isn't Shawshank Redemption that's on every 3 weeks on cable. This isn't Saving Private Ryan or Good Will Hunting or something from the 90s that, wow, you haven't seen that? You know what this would be? And by the way, it's not even a cult film. This isn't even like Fight Club. This isn't even like saying, oh, I can't believe you haven't seen Fight Club, because that's a cult film. Heat is good. Actually, this goes to Bo's point, not on Pepe Sylvia, but this goes to, I would say I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen The Usual Suspects. That's on the same wavelength as like Heat. Like kind of a neat film. And, okay, I'm surprised that slipped past you.
First of all, AR, we never talk about Fight Club.
That's sad. It's sad. I hate to see the attacks of a guy that I shared a studio space with for all these years. I'm disappointed. More hurt than anything else. All right, Reese, you will serve as my. If I am Lieutenant Caffey here, then you are going to serve as Sam, okay, or Joe, whichever you prefer. If you could, and I don't know the answer to this, but if you could you Google the domestic box office for Heat? Or the Heat, just Google Heat box office. I'm just curious what that number is.
Trying to think, 95. You don't want worldwide, you just want domestic?
Give me worldwide, doesn't matter.
All right, so 187 million worldwide. Budget was 60 million.
All right, 187 million.
67.4 million the domestic release, 120 from international markets.
All right, so 190 million worldwide box office. Now, can you give me the box office for the usual? He used The Usual Suspects and Shawshank, I think. Now, Shawshank, he's counting on you watching TNT a lot because it was on TNT forever, and it is a cult classic. But give me the domestic box office or worldwide box office for The Usual Suspects.
So domestically, 23.3 million. The budget was 6 million. 34.5 million worldwide.
Okay, so we're 190 million to 34 million on the box office of those two movies.
160 million apart.
Yeah.
So his example is you should have. That's like seeing The Usual Suspects. What he's banking on there is that you consume or I consume movies the way that it feels like he did. And I did this too. I mean, Usual Suspects was a movie that when it came out, nobody saw it in the theaters. Nobody. The Usual Suspects was a movie that got word of mouth at Blockbuster. Hey, did you see The Usual Suspects? That's what The Usual Suspects was. I don't think Heat is not in the conversation. I will tell you this, though. This is what I would say about Heat. Heat was a massive deal for people my age for this reason. And I think that's Biddle on there who's taking shots at me, too. This is why Heat's a big deal. He actually mentioned The Godfather. This is the first time that Pacino and De Niro shared a scene. They had never shared a scene before. Heat. In 1995. They'd never shared a scene. And the build-up to seeing them in a movie together as co-leads was massively covered. And by the details of that box office, was massively attended in the theater to be able to get there. And it's actually because of The Godfather Part 2, where they're both in it, but they're never in the same scene. And this is coming out of Goodfellas. So De Niro, and like Casino. So De Niro's on a heater, the likes of which you've never seen, and then all of a sudden I'm getting De Niro and Pacino adversarially. This was one of those you had to go to the theater and see, and $190 million probably backs that up a little bit. No buddy of mine in those times was saying we got to see Titanic, which I think was another one that I wrote down that he mentioned. Nobody was saying we got to see Titanic. I saw Titanic once in my life. My girlfriend at the time took me, and I will tell you this, no names, please. She didn't know the damn ship sank, and so she cried the whole way home, and I'm like, why are you crying? And she goes, well, I didn't know it sunk.
Spoiler alert.
Intellectually, she didn't get past the 3-month rule, but nevertheless, I stand by it. I think and you're close enough to my age. He does the one point I'll grant him is the notion that it wasn't on cable a lot because it's so long.
Yeah.
It's a long movie.
Bo, he mentioned Shawshank Redemption, by the way.
Yeah.
Shawshank was a box office flop.
Yeah, I'm guessing it was less than 20 million probably.
It did 16 million. Mm-hmm. So they were 9 million in the hole, but if you remember correctly, it got the 7 Oscar nominations, which got it up to 30 million domestically, and then it went crazy on home video.
Yes. And then it was on TNT for 25 years.
It still is.
Yeah.
You still see it every now and then.
Yeah.
Bo, I will say this, in your defense, there are a lot of movies that I haven't seen because I just didn't watch them growing up. Like, we didn't watch, like, when I was in my parents' home, we didn't watch, like, any R-rated movies. It was mostly kids stuff, sports stuff, things like that. And then we talk about this all the time with shows. I hate watching new shows because I don't want to get sucked in.
Yeah.
Because even if it's bad, I'm like, I want to know if they can write this, or I got to know. Like, I watched that Untamed show, and I was like, the ending of this, the last 3 episodes were terrible, but I was already sucked in. Like, I had to see where we went with this. So I get sucked in easily, and I just don't want to commit my time to it. So, like, I don't see a lot of things kind of by choice sometimes.
All right. And he also took great umbrage with me saying it was one of the better movies of the last 50 years.
I think that was where this whole thing kicked off.
That's where he really was incredulous.
Was not thrilled with that take.
Just couldn't believe it. All right. So Rolling Stone, I just Googled this right now. Rolling Stone ranked Heat 28 on its list of 100 greatest movies of the 90s. So not bad. Getting a little. That's Rolling Stone. Not one of the best films, top 50. So maybe overstepped a little bit there. But let's also not pretend that this isn't universally regarded as great. The Guardian ranked it as the number 22 greatest crime film of all time. I mean, this isn't like me saying Windy City Heat is the greatest movie of all time. I can't believe you haven't seen it. This movie did $190 million. It's Pacino, De Niro.
And wasn't a lot of the build Pacino versus De Niro? Like, you get to watch these these titans of acting.
Yeah. This was Premiere Magazine and Entertainment Weekly. Like, all thing was like, my God, they're going to share a scene. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I stand by it. I feel very, very comfortable in my take.
JB on the YouTube chat, we should have said spoiler alert, because he said, what? The ship sinks?
I made sure everybody was aware. Titanic did not go well for the people on the boat.
No.
Except for Rose.
I don't know a single person who's like, oh, my God, in my friend group in 1997 or whenever that came out, who was like, oh, yeah, we got to go see Titanic. Not a single one. We were all drugged there. Let's open up the mailbag coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Dr. Marta Lavelle of Urbana and Darby Dental smiles on having First Bank of Central Ohio as a partner.
It has been great working with First Bank of Central Ohio. They helped me achieve a huge goal, becoming a business owner. The bank made it so easy. They helped me through the whole process. It's been great ever since.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 Cars for Kids.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
The water's standing in the tub. My toilets will not flush. The smell's getting bad in here. I need help in a rush.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Ugh, gross. Can I come over to your house one time and you not have your husband prancing around in its tighty-whities?
Well, I can't do laundry because our septic line is clogged.
Call Dormar. They do same-day plumbing repair.
Dormar, you're kind of cute.
Hey, Columbus, it's T-Bone for Window Nation.
now is the best time of year to buy new windows. Whether you have old, drafty windows or maybe just the cheap builder's grade ones your house came with, September is the perfect month to protect your home against another cold, snowy winter. And right now, Window Nation is offering their most popular offer. Buy 2 replacement windows, get 2 for free. Plus, you won't pay any interest, monthly payments, or down payment for 2 years. You heard that right. Window Nation gives you the option to pay nothing until 2027. Are you a Buckeye fan? Well, when you replace all the windows in your home, Window Nation will also give you 2 free tickets to an upcoming Ohio State football game. With Window Nation, you get top quality windows from a trusted company, and it's all at a reasonable price because they know replacing windows is an investment and they want to make it affordable for you. Don't miss Window Nation's most popular offer. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. And remember, you'll pay nothing for 2 years. Hurry, Columbus, this sale won't last forever. 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com to get your free quote.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Training camp has begun for the Columbus Blue Jackets. CBJ will begin the preseason on Sunday, hosting the St. Louis Blues. The regular season starts in 25 days, Thursday, October 9th at the Nashville Predators. You can hear Blue Jackets preseason hockey Sunday on the Fan following Cleveland Browns football. Week 3 in the National Football League begins tonight in Buffalo. The Bills host the Dolphins at 8:15. Hear that one on the Fan following the Buckeye Show. Number 1, Ohio State is on a bye this week, the first of 2 for the Buckeyes this season. Ohio State's at Washington next Saturday for a 3:30 kick. Hear from OSU's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. And in baseball last night, the Guardians blanked the Tigers 4-0 in Detroit. Cleveland's 2.5 back of the AL wild card. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour here on a Thursday. The mailbag is jammed full. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
All right, let's start with this one from Nate. The subject is what Ohio State should want a college football super conference to look like. He writes, Bo, I love the show throughout its iterations and friends you brought on. Ohio State should push for no more than a 32-team super conference. Why 32? Because it will ultimately be somewhere around 40 to 48. I think if they hit at a 48-team league, it'll be 64. Old school fans need to forget the last 50 years until the rest of the Big Ten. The milkshake machine is broken. That's a good job out of you. As you remember, I drink my milkshake. As a Dayton Flyer alum, I selfishly hope this happens sooner than later. That way we can just recognize all Olympic sports, including men's hoops, and be done with it. With that, here's my football super conference bid list, NCAA bubble style. Automatic bids. He's got Alabama, Boise State. He's got Boise State in Tier 1. Boise State's not Tier 1. They're not. They've had a great run, but they wouldn't be. But Alabama, Boise State, Clemson, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Miami, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Oregon, Penn State, Texas, and USC. His likely ends are BYU, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Utah, Virginia Tech, and Washington. On the bubble, he has Arizona, Baylor, Cincinnati, Colorado, Georgia Tech, Houston, Indiana, Iowa, Iowa State, Louisville, North Carolina, Ole Miss, SMU, TCU, Wisconsin. I may be missing a couple of teams, but I would bet ratings and revenue data would show these 40-ish teams are the ones who put cash in pockets, eyeballs on screens, and prop up the other 100. Enjoy this open week fodder by the time you read it. Thanks, Nate. I will. I think 32 is a little too small because I don't think you want to restrict it. I still think you could get to 64 and it would be pretty good. I'd be open to 48 too. I just think when they do it, it's really important that they're geographically aligned. I don't want to live in this world where we're going to Washington and USC as conference games. Those should be something that happen once every 4 years to those type of places.
Yeah, those need to be just like the special one home and homes.
Yep.
That you do at the beginning of the season. It does feel like that makes the most sense, which gives me pause because it won't happen.
These conference commissioners seem to be friendly with each other, and they always want to keep as many in as possible. That's why I always have kind of thought 4 20-team super conferences would be the way that they would go, and kind of have them geographical, so you have teams closer to each other. Now, I don't know if they're going to want to do that or not, but I've just always kind of thought that's the way it would go. Do I think there's 80 that deserve it? Probably not, but I just always thought they were going to look out for each other.
Yeah, we'll see where all of this shakes out. This one from Kenny, the subject is Notre Dame snobs. They lose another one at home. At least it wasn't Northern Illinois. Even though the officiating clearly tried to help the real commies out, not the Commanders, the real commies. Look at the stats. Some of their flags were absolutely ridiculous, but that's what you get when you're in commie land. I don't understand that point. The commies should have joined the Big Ten years ago. Get your snobby nose out of the clouds. Join the rest of the real world. But no, the majority of us understand this. You're not gifted anything anymore. He's really going at Notre Dame here. Like, not having it.
Is he calling them communists?
He's calling them communists, yeah. I don't know. God bless. I don't know.
Sure.
Every conference would want him.
Yeah.
And as I've said for a billion years, all you have to do if you're the Big Ten is say none of our teams will play you. Problem solved. They'll join. This one from James. The subject is turf toe. Bo, talk with Archie Griffin. Turf toe shortened his career with the Bengals. I didn't know that. I knew it was injuries, but I didn't know that it was what the specific injury was that hampered his professional career in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I didn't remember that. The first time I ever remembered turf toe was Dion, right? Yeah. And who knows? We know he's had to have a toe amputated. Could it have been from that or other health issues? I don't know. But that's the first time I ever really remember in my life turf toe being a thing.
With Prime.
Yeah.
It was funny. Yesterday, Cam Ward, in his media availability, asked, we practice on grass. Why don't we play on grass? Because Nissan Stadium's turf.
Is it really? They went to turf too?
Yeah. Till 2023, they were on grass.
We do have I do have an email that we'll get to in the next segment with some NFL emails on the turf subject. This one from Chris. Hartsock would be proud. Bo, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this and totally redeem yourself. Good job out of you. I was just about to disown the show when I heard you had no knowledge of Silver Queen corn. And then, listening to the podcast, not only did you mention Unioto High School and the Sherman Tanks, home of Ben Hartsock, by the way, but Bake says he has an uncle who lived in Bainbridge, which is my hometown. I never imagined that the school I work for in my hometown would be mentioned in the same episode, so thank you for that. On a football-related issue, I haven't been to a game in quite a while. I often hear you reference the quietness of the crowd when games are not going as planned and fans sitting on their hands. He's referring to the shoe. On the show, there has been much discussion about the new initiatives being tried at the stadium and why they may not be working. In my experience, just seeing the people I know who are season ticket holders, can we now begin to accept that the demographic of people who can afford seats at Ohio Stadium is that of an older crowd, most likely have lived through the Cooper era, losing big games, and bring their own anxiety to games. It's safe to say that we have reached a point where the majority of the crowd is the age where patrons go to the games yelling at people for being on their own lawn. You recently attended a game. What did you witness outside of the student section? It seems like a middle-aged crowd who may not all be waving towels. Interested in your perspective. He also enjoyed seeing you at the race, Reese. He did finish before you, he says.
Probably.
Also, as a UK grad, I'm able to hook you up for basketball tickets, but I'm sure you already have such connections. Go Bucks. Well, thank you for all of that. Well, we'll be looking for KU. I got to do that with Beamsy. I think it's hard when it's Ohio. I thought the crowd was pretty dang good, though, for that game. It wasn't deafening, but it wasn't. You didn't need to be. You weren't playing Texas. So I thought it was pretty good. And we went over this earlier in the week, just how those things are landing, the various initiatives that they're doing. Some are hits, some are not. It's
the head on the nail with the ticket prices, because even for Ohio, you start talking about fees and then you're paying over $100 a ticket. Like, get in, not terribly expensive, but like leading up to it, once you factored in everything that Ticketmaster does or whichever ticket broker you want to use, you're like, I'm not spending that for that. And similarly for Grambling.
I will say, I obviously wasn't there for the Ohio game, but we talked about this. I was super impressed with the crowd at the Grambling game. Were there dead moments? Absolutely. But when the crowd was needed, they were really good. What was the name of this emailer, by the way? Sorry, I didn't mean to make you grab your paper again.
Chris.
I'm sure Chris and I probably, when I was younger, crossed paths then at the Fall Festival of Leaves down in Bainbridge because we would go every year. It was like a family reunion for us. So.
And it sounds like he works for Unioto, which is the Sherman tank. So a couple of sweatshirts coming this way.
Beautiful.
I mean, I'll wear that around with great pride.
That's good colors, too.
It's fantastic. This one, here too, on the song thing that we've talked about, this one from Neville. For the last few weeks, I've been hearing everybody hating on the sing-along song they've been playing at the stadium. In addition to nobody knowing it, which is definitely a factor, I argue that it's just not a very catchy hook. If you would humor me, please give a listen to this song and tell me if you think it would be a better option, even though nobody would know it, at least not yet, as this hook is much more fun to sing along with. I'm an Ohio expat, have lived in North Carolina for 25 years, and I wrote this song about 15 years ago when I was feeling nostalgic to my younger days in Ohio, Youngstown area. Insert bookie joke here. Very well done. My band recorded It's Always a Crowd Pleaser when we play it live. I'm a diehard Buckeye fan. I've been listening to you for years now. Thanks for making the workday mornings fun and keep up the good work. I will send this one out. I'll tweet this one out that he has. Roscoe has a similar conversation. Heard you talking about songs in the shoe. 2 suggestions, both master club hitting their day. There were two songs from the early 80s. So here's what I did. I was sick of like us and all of us weighing in on what should do. And I said, you know what? We got a guy who works here named Evan, who is the front man for a band you've probably heard of here locally called North to Nashville. And I thought, you know what? I'll ask him. What do you think about all of this? And he and I had a very entertaining back and forth. And I'll save you all the details of it. But one thing that he and I kind of came to the conclusion of, the barrier to entry has to be everybody knows the song. So that's how you have to get into the world of, he used these examples, Friends in Low Places, Wonderwall, those type of songs, Wagon Wheel. It has to be a song like that. It doesn't matter what it's about, man. You guys know what Mr. Brightside's about? Go read the lyrics. But everybody knows the song. So that's why it works. And that's got to be the minimum barrier to entry.
I mean, it's fitting Mr. Brightside's about infidelity, and Michigan sings it.
That's right.
You know, cheaters and birds of feathers, whatnot.
Michigan and Missouri. Belt it out. This one from Shannon, loyal listener. I think she was curious about your availability as well, Big, a couple of weeks ago.
Fluid situation.
Special Olympics shout out. While you and your sons are out golfing Saturday, many other athletes will be on the golf course as well. Ohio Special Olympics hosts the annual Ohio Special Olympics State Golf Tournament this weekend. You could give a quick shout out to all participants. They'd appreciate it. Flag football up next. P.S. Yesterday, Baker stated that he has no significant other he has to complete honeydews for. I could use help with many chores around the yard and house. Can we flummox him again?
I'm not trying to be working harder.
Leaves to rake.
I work enough. I don't need this.
Edges to trim.
I mean, I think you may. She's coming hard.
I mean, I don't need I don't need a honeydew list. I got enough stuff to do on my own.
Maybe you need a honey.
Change your life.
Pair and a spare. That's what Tress always said, right?
We got some NFL mailbag to get to coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Matty Ice here. Football is back, and it also marks the kickoff to huge savings at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, you can get a 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 with up to $12,000 off MSRP for qualified buyers. Just imagine riding up to your tailgate party in a brand new Silverado from McDaniel. And McDaniel GM Superstore has been family-owned and operated for over 100 years. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 on 95 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The season may be winding down, but there's still time to make the most of Buckeye Lake. At Buckeye Lake Marina, we have year-end deals on boats, accessories, and more to get you ready for next year's adventures. Looking to upgrade? The Buckeye Lake Marina staff is there to help you find the perfect boat at unbeatable prices. Buckeye Lake Marina has a long list of satisfied customers and want you to be the next. Don't wait. Sail into savings at Buckeye Lake Marina before the year ends and and find the boat that's just right for you. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com for more.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at RunyonDentalGroup.com. That's RunyonDentalGroup.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. My toilet's clogged, backed up too. The sink is running slow. Water's backed up everywhere. Oh, please don't overflow.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Other stations have crappy ratings and they wonder why no one listens. So instead of investing money in local talent, they fire people and plug in AI voices. Gee, real entertainment. Well, all of our dummies are real, damn it. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sportsbasketball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the sunglasses, and you'll want to have ways to stay cool. Yet again, we have plenty of sunshine today, light winds and highs getting into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. We'll get down into the 60s again tonight with mostly clear skies, and then we end the work week dry and sunny with daytime highs soaring into the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And as always, we are proudly brought to you by our great friends at Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Buckeye jewelry starting at just $99. Check them out. Tell them Bo sent you. All right, let's continue with the mailbag. A bunch more to get through here. Let's start with this one. Our loyal listener, the great Greg from Botkins. Good morning, fellas. The subject is Peacock Network is Kenny Banya. I love our listeners. I mean, that's great. On Saturday evening, my family spent our game day evening watching Notre Dame A&M and listening to Jim Lachey and Paul Keels. For whatever reason, wonderful Peacock Network blacked out for the Buckeye game for the Chicagoland area and streamed the Notre Dame A&M game instead. My goodness. After spending Sunday evening getting stood up by Peacock, I started to think, do you know who the Peacock Network is? Kenny Bania in the Armani suit. If you're not familiar, I'm very well familiar with this. If you're not familiar with this episode, Kenny Bania tries to get Jerry a brand new Armani suit that no longer fits Kenny, leading to a memorable exchange about the value of a nice meal. Jerry goes to dinner with Bania at Mendy's, and Bania orders soup instead because Bania ate a hot dog before going to dinner and really isn't that hungry. Bania insists on another nice dinner. Jerry ends up giving the suit away. Do you know who isn't friends with Kenny Bania? The SEC. And the SEC isn't asking any fans to buy a subscription to Peacock. Maybe ask Paul Finebaum if he's friends with Kenny Bania. P.S. I've canceled my subscription to Peacock. That's outstanding.
I will say this.
Kenny Bania, that's amazing drop.
On the Peacock Saturday night, the difference between the game volume and the commercial volume was ridiculous. Like, the commercials were way louder than the actual game volume. And then, listen, you're going to have this, but Chris Sims is going to take strays when he calls Julian saying Jalen saying once, and then Ryan Day, Jason Day. Like, you're going to take strays when you do that. I understand in the moment sometimes things happen, but...
Here's the thing. All of these people want you to pay for their apps, but they don't want to pay people to just do the football games on the app. So they have people cross-train and do things that they're not supposed to. Chris Sims is an NFL pundit. How much college football? And I know he's on their pregame show with Joshua, but, like, how much college football can he possibly watch? It just doesn't check out. This one from Robert. Turf versus grass in the NFL. Bo, it may need a grain of salt, but one of the reasons I read about why NFL stadium owners were unwilling to install grass fields, even at the cost of losing star players, is that grass fields are much more difficult to maintain. While a grass field for 10 games a year is readily substantial, stadium owners predicate their investments on running events intensely at their stadium and for even larger numbers of events year-round. Grass fields are more difficult to maintain. They could do the exchangeable field model as for upper-end soccer stadiums, maybe use a turf field for events and grass for sports, but it's the NFL, and teams won't spend that money unless they have to. In some cases, may have difficulty adapting their stadiums to the model. The only thing I would say he's right. It's all, and I think we said this, it's all about the money. It's 100% what it is, because you put down turf and you don't have to do anything with it. It's done. What I do think is wild is that the NFL doesn't treat them the way that European soccer does, where there is no turf. The other thing that I think is a little wild is that we have not created yet a turf model that mimics grass perfectly. That's also stunning to me. I mean, because we had AstroTurf forever. We've had field turf for 20 years now. How have they not gotten it to where it behaves just like grass?
I know there's some differences, but baseball stadiums, to the best of my knowledge, are all grass, and they play they play 42 games, or no, 81 games a year. 81 games a year on those fields. Now, I know when the weather gets a little crazy, they get off of there, and I understand you don't have 22 guys in one spot of that field, like a football field going up and down the middle of the field all the time, but there is a lot of cutting and planting and all of that in baseball too. They can make it work, and I don't think they have the budget that the NFL does.
No, they don't. No. Yeah, you could do it if you wanted to. It's a short answer. But this one from Matt, the subject is Joe Flacco. I agree with Reese. I think it's time for one of the young quarterbacks for the Browns. Flacco looked old and tired yesterday. This goes back to the conversation of when you have young quarterbacks that you value, how do you curate them? And there isn't a perfect blueprint. Like Patrick Mahomes sat for a year, and it benefited him tremendously. Peyton Manning played right away, struggled, and he was more than fine with it. So I think it's really about the player. And I also think that we can say emphatically that there is nothing in sports that is more difficult than identifying and developing a quarterback at the NFL level. It's really hard. And you never know. There's no science to it that is absolute.
And the thinking from my standpoint is I see the rookies and the production that they've been having, and I want to see if one of these rookie quarterbacks can create some chemistry now for the future. Kevin Stefanski wants to win now, believes Joe Flacco gives him the best chance. They've also got the Green Bay Packers Sunday. So I want it to be Dylan Gabriel Sunday, but I understand why the Browns are saying no, it's going to be Joe Flacco, and probably for the foreseeable future because they've got veterans that I also think that they feel a slight ownership to get them a postseason shot. And every team right now at 0-2 feels like we've still got a chance in this thing. Every team does, despite what you may feel about them, despite what I may feel, what Baker may feel about the Cleveland Browns being at 0-2. That building still feels we've got a shot.
Yeah.
And I think to your point, Reese, with seeing rookies around the league the past couple of years do well, we've talked about on this show, the ones that have done that are the ones that have played a lot of football, that had a lot of reps in college football. Both of the Browns rookies, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, played a whole lot of college football.
This one for Brian. Subject, Tom Brady. I thought they said last year that because he was a minority, he was not allowed to visit teams prior to games. No, he's not allowed to visit teams in their facilities prior to games. He can meet with players off campus. He can do any of that all he wants. Ben Johnson had some interesting comments yesterday about it. Like, he's not going to get anything in a conversation with me that's going to help them in 2 weeks. Like, let's not make a big deal about this. I've heard of Orlovsky and others, too.
I think that's what the NFL said as much. Like, teams can basically decide if they want to give him information or not, or the volume or the importance of the information they give is really up to the team.
This one from Isaac. 3 things. Good job out of him. Your message. First thing, I'm disappointed in your lack of knowledge of the great Champaign County. Second thing, you need to go to Urbana and try Crable's Hamburger Shop. Slider-style burgers, they are the best in Ohio. Does this ring... Have you guys heard of this?
I have not spent a lot of time in Urbana, Ohio. I bet CB has had them. CB knows Urbana well.
Okay. Well, maybe if he's out there, maybe we can see if he can corroborate this. Third thing, Champaign County has great small town football. Shout out to head football coach of Mechanicsburg High School, Kirk Forrest, who has produced consistently good to great teams in Division 6 or 7 for 10 years now. I love this. Love this. These 6-7 Division 6-7 like little cult, like that's why I'm infatuated with the MAC thing. Mm-hmm. So I love this. Is a great job. Good job out of Coach Forrest.
But when you were in town here, did you ever play golf at Indian Springs Golf Course out in Mechanicsburg?
I've not.
That it's no longer there, but growing up, that was one of my favorites, and because it was a little bit of a drive, you could play it for super cheap, so we would go out there all the time. It was a fabulous golf course.
Yeah, that's great.
I did the Ohio Caverns. Is that out by Springfield?
Not sure.
Caves with stalactites and stalagmites. That was cool.
There you go. Michael with this one. This is the last one. The subject, all right, this is about my cousin Brett, who's on the Round the Country motorcycle ride, who I'll see here on Saturday. Sounds like a dream come true for him, but to end up in Newark, that's crazy. With all the big cities, Newark is probably a large city in Montana. Some great eating in downtown Newark. Virtues Golf Course east of Newark. Basket Building east of Newark. Yeah, I've been to all those things. Many small town things that you can do each day. I've lived here all my life and traveled to many states, Europe, Hawaii several times. We call Newark home. If he would like any recommendations on things, you can share him my email, or I will share you my cell phone number upon request. Cycle rides in eastern central Ohio is some great scenic rides. Take State Route 60 down to Marietta. Lots of history in this area with being the forefront of the Northwest Territory. It can go on and on and on, but I realize time is short. Have a great day, great time visiting with family, and your wife. And your wife really need to go back to Hawaii. Well, we will. I think she's doing that. This is perfect, though. I mean, this is how great people are. Michael's willing to help out my cousin driving around the country aimlessly on a motorcycle. That's a good job out of you, and I appreciate it. Paul Finebaum in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 6-packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood every single year. And the reason why is water and Weed Man. Good news, I'm only selling you one of them. Fall is the perfect time to improve your lawn for next year. The work you do or don't do now is directly reflected next spring. If you want a beautiful spring lawn, it starts now, not next April. Now through the end of September, mention the promo code Common Man and get a free blanket weed control with the purchase of a full program. For a free quote, go to weedman.com. That's weedman.com.
Get the MVP, more value price from Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% financing on a new 25 Kia Sorento or 3.49% on a new 25 Telluride. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Based on January to December 2024 retail sales. 0% for 48 months and 3.49% for 60 months equals $20.83 and $18.19 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Not all will qualify. All qualified manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 9/30/25.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on the team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
All right, buddy. On Tuesdays, we have a segment here called The Real Truth, and it comes from a phrase that I say to my youngest son, who is 9, where he will lie straight through his teeth, and then I will say to him, okay, yeah, but what's the real truth? So I'm gonna apply that logic to you right now. What is the real truth on Arch Manning?
I believe he was shattered by the first game in Columbus, and I don't think he has recovered since. He talks a good game, Bo. He talks about all the things that make him sound like a normal college student. But I think I'm just guessing that psychologically he is in a weird place right now. I can't come up with any other explanation for his fundamentals breaking down. He was never perfect. We knew that, but he doesn't even look like a college quarterback right now.
No, and if what you're saying is true, that's far more scary, is it not? Because when I watch him throw, it looks like it's either that, like essentially he has the yips, or that he's injured and that he's overcoming it. But we have Sark tried to make funny with that and said, no, he's fine. So it doesn't make sense the way he looks. And I go back to that hit that Arvell Reese had on him in the opener, and I thought maybe there was more damage there, but then I don't know why they wouldn't just acknowledge that if that were the case.
Yeah, I don't think you would mislead about an injury. To me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I really don't understand that. I was talking to Brian Kelly the other day about a torso injury to Nussmeier. That's a little different. I mean, they acknowledge it. Whether they're telling you exactly what the truth is, I don't know. But with Arch, I just don't think they would be letting him play in these games if he had something seriously wrong with him.
Yeah, it was the start of the UTEP game. I just couldn't believe it. Some of the stuff, it just seemed completely lost. It does feel that one program you talk about a lot had a nice little bounce back from adversity. Is Bama back?
They are right now. I say that jokingly because they have a bye week, Bo. I'm in Alabama today, and it is truly remarkable when you run into people on the street how upbeat they are. And what I mean by that is they've beaten Louisiana Monroe 73-0 and destroyed Wisconsin. I don't need to tell your audience what Wisconsin is right now. Yeah. This is not Ron Dane. This is a shell of itself. A coach who I really like and thought was an excellent coach who may have made a terrible career decision to leave Cincinnati. They look like about a 5-7 Big Ten team, and Alabama beat them by 3 touchdowns. And should that mean anything? It really doesn't. Alabama's season is going to be defined Saturday a week when they go to Georgia.
Yeah, man, that's shaping up to be a massive Saturday. You got that one. You got Penn State, Oregon that day as well. We'll find out about a lot of these teams. One of the teams in the SEC that had a lot of hype and a lot of love, NFL folks had their eyes on him because of the quarterback, Lenora Sellers. But this was falling flat on your face in a big way. Is Vandy good, or was South Carolina just wildly overvalued?
I think Vanderbilt is good, but I think the latter may be more true. Without Sellers, they're just nothing. And I think everybody tried to make them into a playoff team, even though their Vegas number was about 7.5. The schedule was always too difficult. I say that because this was one of the easiest games on their schedule. They still have Bama. They still have all the LSU. They have all the Ole Miss. I mean, they've got losses across the board, and I don't think they're going to have a good season at all. And the question is, does Shane Beamer keep talking, or does he probably take less money? But a more secure future following his father's footsteps at Virginia Tech.
Right. Yeah, I thought that as well. Let's talk about the other team in that, the Vanderbilt Commodores. Lee, a couple years ago, said something, we want to be the best program in the nation. I'm paraphrasing. It's something to that extent. It was a couple years ago at SEC meetings. And we all went, oh, yeah, come on. And I think we still are kind of like, oh, yeah, come on. But one thing I was thinking about, a buddy of mine's a Vandy alum, and they've got a bunch of money, the university does. In this day and age with NIL and portal, do you see a scenario ever where Vanderbilt could ignite that money and put a lot into football and go make a run at something?
No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. Clark Lee is an outstanding coach. I laughed when he said that statement a few years ago, but I don't think they are all in. My wife has a degree from Vanderbilt. And a year ago, I came home on a Saturday and watched the end of the Vanderbilt-Alabama game with her. She was cheering for Alabama. Because she grew up an Alabama fan, even though she's got a medical degree from Vanderbilt, it just doesn't compute. I just do not believe Vanderbilt will ever. There's too many distractions. Nashville's a big town. It's a Titans town. It's a Preds town. It's not a Vanderbilt football town. As good as they are, I think it's a whole. I know this will lose me my SEC card, but I just think it's a hopeless proposition.
Speaking of hopeless propositions, Dabo Swinney may be in one. Everybody I talked to who was adjacent to that program said, this is the year. We're getting it back. Now, quite honestly, what they've been the last 3 or 4 years is what Clemson is historically. It's the 5 years where he won the 2 national titles. That's kind of the outlier historically for them. He had this press conference this week where he said, you want to stop winning, I'll leave. What do you make of the situation with him there? And he's pretty adamant. He said, in the bite, I'm 55. I got a long way to go. What do you make of him at Clemson? They've been terrible first 3 weeks, obviously.
You can't say that. There comes a point when they go, you know what? Go ahead and leave. I mean, we both have seen that in our industry where the big guy keeps saying, and you just, it's not who you were. It's what you are now. And what you're projected to be. And this was his best team, his best quarterback since Trevor Lawrence. And I think when you think about Taj Boyd, Deshaun Watson, and Trevor Lawrence in a row, and this guy is not it. I was told he was. You were told he was. He's not. This to me is a very dangerous situation for Dabo Swinney because he's getting to be a whiner. And this is the same guy. If he has so many opportunities, why wasn't he even called? He did not get a phone call 2 years ago when Saban left. And for those who don't keep up with it, Dabo went to the University of Alabama and has a degree from Alabama and was a walk-on there and played well. They never called him because they don't want him.
Yeah, that's probably your biggest statement ever. You know what it reminded me of, buddy? It reminded me of the end of Bowden. Bobby got like that towards the end, where he was like, why aren't you hey, remember we went top 4 in the country for 14 years in a row? Don't you remember that? And we're like, well, yeah, but what now? That's what it sounded like. Now, Bobby was 75, wasn't 55, so it's a little different, but it reminded me of that. How big is this Auburn-Oklahoma game this Saturday?
I think it's really big for both for various reasons. I mean, the Jackson Arnold back to Norman, but to me, Brent Venables is the coach who's probably under more pressure. Hugh Freeze won the Baylor game. That may not sound like much, but it kind of it got him out of harm's way. But Venables has just never quite clicked. If he can win this game, he may go into Red River in Dallas in a couple of weeks undefeated, and his fan base comes all in on him. And they've given him everything. He's also got a situation at the end of the year. His AD of 25 or 30 years, Joe Castiglione, is walking away, and you don't want to be in harm's way when a new AD comes to town.
All right, buddy, I'll get you out of here on this one, and this is a program I'm relatively familiar with. Florida's 1-2. Their next few games are at number 4 Miami, number 8 Texas, number 10 Texas A&M, Mississippi State. I mean, it's crazy. They basically play everybody. Like, most of their games are ranked going forward. Obviously, it's not working with Billy Napier. I know some Bull Gators. Are there enough of them that they can fire him, or is it kind of unfireable now for him there?
No, he'll get. I think he'll get fired if he loses a few more games. Every week becomes a referendum. If he loses this game, that means he's lost 2 games in state and still has Florida State. That matters in Florida. You live there, and ultimately, I think that Texas game is going to really loom large because I don't see how he wins it at A&M. He's got Tennessee later in the season. He has Georgia later in the season. So a third loss and then a fourth one in 2 weeks, and I think they're pretty close to pulling the cord on him. The buyout's only $20 million. I say that because compared to Lincoln Riley and Kalen DeBoer, that's a big check right now. That's not impossible.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you as always. We'll talk to you again next week.
A pleasure. Thank you.
All right, there he goes, the great Paul Finebaum joining us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We get Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Ford versus Ferrari. It's the ultimate showdown, and it's coming to Valley Ford of Columbus. Experience the thrill of Ford GTs and Ferraris for your up-close viewing at the Ultimate Car Show this Friday, September 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Everyone's invited to marvel at these iconic machines and enjoy live music and food trucks. Show off your special car, too. All makes and models are welcome. Register at the show or online, valleyfordofcolumbus.com. It's the official dealership of Carnell Tate. Be there.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall, and it's party time, baby, because the Grove City Smokin' Hot Wing and Music Fest is back Saturday, October 4th at American Nitro. From noon to 9, you get wings, beer, live music, football on the big screen, and more. Don't miss the wing eating and bobbing for wings contest either. Ooh, veterans, military, and kids under 12 get in free. Get the tickets at AmericanNitro.com/wingfest. Presented to you by The Fan, Columbus Chamber, Brex Paving, Darby Dental, and Equipment Rental. Wingfest 2025, the ultimate fall kickoff. Don't miss it.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Looking to get your roof or siding replaced this fall? Call the company that delivers an excellent customer experience every time. Newman Roofing. Don't wait. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could dump all your problems on someone else's back? Well, when you wake up to a clogged drain or a plumbing issue, make that Mr. Rooter's problem.
Call 855-MISTERS today or MrRooter.com.
Call Mr. Rooter.
he'll be there quick.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain for Toyota West. And with over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles available, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're looking for. And right now at Toyota West, take advantage of 0 down and 0 payments until 2026. And every pre-owned vehicle comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty for qualified vehicles. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com. Offer expires 9/30. No payments for deferred payment. Interest accrues at time of inception with approved credit.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Common Man and Timmy.
You know what would have made it better? A hot Sprite. Yeah. Wash it down.
Burn your esophagus.
Mess you up.
Common Man and Timmy Afternoons on the Fan is sponsored by Hinderer Motorsports.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. With friends like these, who needs former college football players? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, we'll start with some college football news that came out in the last 12 hours. But Arizona State and Kansas will play a football game in London next year as part of a multi-year deal for an event called the Union Jack Classic. The first game in this classic is scheduled for September 19th of 2026 at Wembley Stadium. Pre-sale tickets to each school's alumni and season ticket holder base is expected to begin over the next few weeks. It's the sport's first college football game in England. It also continues, this is from the Post and Courier, a conceded effort by the Big 12 to expand the league's brand globally. They had discussions about playing in Mexico City, and also the Baylor women's basketball team will play Duke in Paris this November. Thing or not a thing?
So it's not about brand, spreading the brand. I don't know anybody who's living in London who hasn't been watching college football, who all of a sudden Kansas and Arizona State show up and they're like, oh, I'm in. I got to follow them. I forget Chelsea and Arsenal and Tottenham. I'm going to follow this. This is my new passion. I don't think that's what it's about. I think what it's about is there's probably a tourism company or an airline or something over there that is financially pushing this, and that the schools will benefit from that. We've seen that with the Ireland thing with Aer Lingus. I mean, that's the whole reason all those games were in Dublin. It's all for Ireland tourism, and it's that airline. So my hunch is that's what's happening here, and that's why it's happening. My guess is that's why Michigan's going to Georgia whenever that's or to Germany in a couple of years. I'm guessing that's why that's happening too.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters what teams go over there. I think it's just an event for these people, right? Mm-hmm. That, hey, we don't get a lot of American football over here. Let's go to this game and watch it. And it's why when you see the NFL games over there, you see just about every NFL team's jersey represented in the stands because people are just a fan of the NFL. They don't care what team's coming over. They want to go to a game regardless. And, hey, for some of these teams, like maybe Kansas will pick up a few more fans now overseas. And people will be looking to watch their game because, hey, this team came over here. We got to see them in person. Let's start following this team.
On Wednesday, the D.C. City Council voted 11-2 to approve the $3.7 billion project to redevelop RFK Stadium. meaning the Washington Commanders are coming back to the nation's capital. The vote authorizes the use of $1.1 billion in taxpayer money to bring the team back to the city. Josh Harris, the team's owner, calls it a historic day. Quote, "We are deeply grateful for the warm return to the district and the center of the DMV and look forward to officially bringing the team back to its spiritual home in 2030. New stadium will occupy 11% of their 180-acre site. The Commanders will be responsible for developing land around the stadium to attract restaurants, hotels, and entertainment venues." Thing or not a thing?
So there's two different conversations when this type of thing happens. Number one is, who's paying for it? Well, this is the reality of it. I continue to reside in the great state of Ohio, so I don't care who's paying for it. It doesn't matter to me at all. That's their problem, whoever lives there and what that may be. So I'll take the other side of it. This is awesome. This is awesome. They've been in Landover for 20-some years. They're going back to that location, which if you've been to D.C., you can see it from the outer belt in there. And it is, for people of my age, the iconic views of RFK, and I hope they build it that it has some of that RFK look to it, because there was a look to RFK, like Candlestick and Texas Stadium. There's a look to it. I hope that they can come with some of that nostalgia as well in a modern way. But the one thing you'd always get is that shot from RFK looking right at the Washington Monument. And so you're going to get all that stuff again. So I think this is awesome for the franchise. It's awesome for the city. So I'm all for this. Massive thing.
Yeah, I don't want to go into the funding of all of it or any of that because it doesn't affect me either, but this is great. And this is the way it should be. Sometimes we mess things up. And it's nice if we can realize that and go back and fix it. And this is something I think that is being fixed that's awesome. Like the Baltimore, it sucked that they lost the Colts, but them getting a team again was great. It sucked that that came at the expense of the team I grew up rooting for. But sometimes we've just got to make things right. And this is making something right, I believe.
Dodgers manager Dave Roberts acknowledged Wednesday that Los Angeles has considered whether Shohei Ohtani might be more valuable coming out of the bullpen, especially in a shorter series like the 3-game wild card. Roberts said, quote, "I know that we are going to be talking about it. I think the one thing you could say, though, is that we use him once every 7, 8, 9 days, 11 days in between his last start. So I think that now it's feasible for a guy that's just coming off what he's done last year or didn't do last year to then now put him in a role that's very, very unique because he's a very methodical, disciplined, routine-driven person. The pen is the complete opposite, right? You potentially could be taking on a risk, and we've come this far, certainly, with the kid gloves and managing Ohtani. Ohtani did express an openness to playing in the outfield to remain in the lineup. So what happens is if Ohtani were to DH and come out of the bullpen, or I guess DH and pitch in the playoffs, he would have to leave the lineup as soon as he leaves. If he came out of the pen, then I think he could only pitch, or he could only hit as a DH when he's out on the mound. Thing or not a thing?
All right, I just went cross-eyed at the last part there. So the idea being that if he starts as the DH and then they use him as a relief pitcher, he can no longer DH.
He'd have to play in the outfield.
He has to go to the outfield to make it work. I had no idea that rule exists because, of course, as with Shohei Ohtani, we've never had a reason to consider it. It's not like anyone was sitting with, Dave Parker, the Cobra, towards the end of his career going, gosh, we put him in the 7th inning. We got to go play him somewhere else. Like, it's just we've never had this type of thing before. So I'm guessing that's how that came up. I just think, like, the simpler thing would be if he's so routine-driven, like I took note of that when Roberts when you were quoting him there, I think you said methodical, disciplined, routine-driven person. Well, then just do it the other way and just use him as a starter, but just use him as like a reliever game, like 3 or 4 innings, and then he's out. Let's just do it that way. Doesn't that just work the same?
It does, but I think the leverage of having him and a pitcher that good in your bullpen as a closer is something way
risk, right?
Different.
Massive risk.
Shame on me for not knowing exactly the rule with this, but I know the Reds have dealt with this where, like, if they DH Tyler Stevenson, he couldn't come in to be the catcher or something, the backup catcher. It's really weird with this designated hitter rule. Can we just get rid of it and have, like, a designated player?
Yes.
Like softball does or something? Who cares where Shohei is in the lineup or what he's doing? I don't understand that. If you're the DH, you should be able to move around to another position or whatever you want, as long as everybody is accounted for. That's just dumb. And listen, if Shohei wants to play the outfield, fine. He was a really good outfielder. And this is more to my point with this guy where I was going at first. He's one of the best starters in the league. He's already the best damn hitter in the league. He was a decent outfielder before, and now he's going to be the best closer in the league. Get the hell out of here. I hate this guy.
He's the best player to ever play the game, I think.
Yes.
I really do.
There's nothing that's ever been done. There's nothing ever like Shohei Ohtani. Detroit Lions safety Brian Branch became just the second defensive back in the NFL since 1999 to accumulate the following numbers through their first 3 years. 30 pass breakups, 15 tackles for loss, 5 interceptions, 3 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles. He's only a handful of games into his 3rd season. The other player, Ed Reed. Thing or not a thing?
I mean, this feels like one of those, hey, let's find somebody who'll put together a bunch of stats and make it seem really impressive. And so I'm usually quick to dismiss this type of stuff. But I will say, if the only other player is Ed Reed, then you have my attention.
Yeah, if it's you and Ed Reed, that's definitely a thing. And listen, we talk a lot about the Detroit Lions and what they do on offense. This guy is kind of like Caleb Downs as a safety for them. He just kind of does everything.
Yeah, really does. Final hour on a Thursday up next. We kick it off as we attempt to beat the house. We did not beat the house last week. We will try to do better coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Dormar, your kind of hero. When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Come join the Ford versus Ferrari Ultimate Car Show at Valley. Everyone's invited to see Ford GTs and Ferraris, plus tons of other local show cars up close this Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. Drive-in car registration is open to all at Valley Ford of Columbus.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with a team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original athlete and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
That nagging pain, you know the one. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long. But that stops right now. I'm Tyvus Powell, and QC Kinetics is here in Columbus to flip the script. Dr. Wolkoff and his team use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatment that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not covering it up, not cutting it out. Actually helping heal and restore. And the results, long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around life. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Check them out at qckinetics.com/Columbus. Bring your MRIs, your x-rays. They'll make sure you're a good candidate. The consultation is free. Just call QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
My name is Katie. I'm a Spectrum customer for mobile and internet, and I grew up on a farm and ranch in Nebraska, so I'm always cowgirling. Cowboy culture, you never want to pay more than you have to because there are so many expenses that go into farming and ranching. To have any efficiency on the farm, you need extreme connection and reception. I bet we save about $180 a month with Spectrum, and that's $2,100 for the whole year.
Real customers, real savings. Visit spectrum.com/save. Real customer testimonial, compensated, not scripted.
Say goodbye to car care headaches with Carvenience from Hinderer Motor Company. This is Justin Hinderer.
For only $49, we'll pick up your vehicle, leave you with a rental, and return it fully serviced and spotless. No more juggling your schedule or wasting hours at the shop. Carvenience lets you focus on what matters while we take care of all the rest, making life easier. Schedule your service today at HinderMotorCompany.com.
It's always a good day at the Nationwide Children's Hospital Championship, September 18th through 21st at the Scarlet Course. PGA Tour's rising stars compete, Hub 13 drink specials, and more. Get free tickets today at ncc-golf.com.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy, America's football capital is right here in OHIO. But the greatest players and coaches of all time live in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It doesn't matter if you spend your Sundays yelling "Who Dey" or barking like a dog from your seats in the pound. A trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame should be on every fan's bucket list. Plan your trip at ProFootballHof.com. The Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion, relive the glory.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Week 3 in the NFL begins tonight in Buffalo. The 2-0 Bills host the 0-2 Dolphins at 8:15. Hear that game on the Fan following the Buckeyes show. Sunday at 1, the Bengals are at the Vikings. Jake Browning and Carson Wentz is the quarterback matchup there. Same time in Cleveland, the Browns host the Packers. Following NFL football on the Fan Sunday, the Blue Jackets begin preseason play hosting the St. Louis Blues. Columbus opened training camp this morning and will open the regular season in 25 days against the Predators in Nashville. In college football, number 1 Ohio State's on a bye this week. It's the first of 2 for the Buckeyes this season. OSU is at Washington next Saturday for a 3:30 kick. Hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. And in baseball, the Guardians look for their 7th win in a row at the Tigers today at 1:10. The Reds host the Cubs tonight at 7:15. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Thursday edition of the program, NFL Heavy. We kick it off by attempting to beat the house.
Beat the house.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery Co. Visit their Grandview, Gahanna, and Westerville locations to experience the best in craft dining and distilling. Learn more at highbankco.com.
All right, guys, so it was a struggle last week for both of you, but the Monday night doubleheader kept you guys okay. Both of you finished 7-9 last week. One game under 500 on the season now. Reese, you are 15-17. Bo, you are an even 500. It's 16-16.
Just sad. Just hate to see it. Hate to see it. Need a big week.
That's right. The best thing is we can recover and do great this week and forget about those first 2 weeks. Tonight, we get it underway on Amazon. Miami heads to Buffalo. Big number here. The Bills favored by 11.5.
Yeah. So I started this week saying, like, what would this number have to be for me to bet Miami? And I thought, God, is it like 17.5? Is it 14.5? Like, what is it? Then I thought to myself, everybody else is thinking that too. And I was curious where the public is on this. And it's like 75% are on Buffalo. They didn't build that thing by losing. Somehow, some way, Buffalo wins. Beleaguered Dolphins cover?
Oh, boy.
No. I'm not going to overthink this. Give me Buffalo minus the 11.5.
Two at the back door. Little 27-10 game. Little back door.
I don't even know if Miami's that competent right now.
Probably not.
Let's head to the 1 o'clock slate on Sunday. Let's start up in Cleveland. They're hosting the Packers. The Packers giving 7.5 on the road. This is a game that is Fox this week.
I went back and forth on this a lot because I thought, maybe Cleveland's got a little bit more fight left in them. I don't think that's the case. Give me the Packers minus the 7.5.
Yeah, I think Cleveland probably, in terms of the result in Baltimore, it looked a lot worse than it was. It was a really competitive game, and then it snowballed as you got into the parts of the third and fourth quarter, which happens. I just think this is a brutal matchup. It's a brutal matchup with what Green Bay does well, especially what they do well defensively. I think Green Bay wins this one. I think I got it 24-14, something like that, but Packers. I'll give me the Packers.
Let's head to the Bengals game. They travel to Minnesota. We're going to get Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. Yes. This is the Nance Romo game as well. Minnesota home favorites by 2.5.
2.5. All right, so in instances like this where you have two backup quarterbacks playing, the next thing I go to is, all right, which coach do I trust? And I trust Kevin O'Connell a little more than I trust ZT. So give me Minnesota by a field goal.
I'm going to take the Bengals plus the 2.5 here. And with games of the last 2 weeks for Cincinnati, in previous seasons, they never win either of those contests. When they're getting beat everywhere else, they manage to find a way. Last week, Joe Burrow goes down. They managed to find a way. I think they managed to find a way this week. Give me Cincinnati to win.
That one on CBS we mentioned with Nance and Romo. Also on CBS, the Colts head to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The road favorites getting 4.5.
Well, yeah, it's because the Colts are good and the Titans aren't. Give me Indianapolis here.
And I said getting. It should be giving 4.5. The Colts.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
Yeah, giving 4.5. Yeah, I'll go with you. 24-14, something like that. Give me Indy.
Pittsburgh on the road at New England. J.J. Watt, Ian Eagle on the call for this one. Pittsburgh 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah, and I this is another one of those I was curious about because I'm like, God, why is Pittsburgh favored at New England? Like, they have not looked great at all. This doesn't make any sense. And I went and I was curious where the public was. 86% on New England. Therefore, I must do the opposite. Give me the Steelers to cover.
In this case, we agree. Give me Pittsburgh.
The Los Angeles Rams head cross-country to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. This one's on Fox, and the Eagles are 3.5 point favorites.
If the Eagles win, it'll be by a field goal. Give me the Rams to cover.
Yeah, I'm with you on this. I think this feels like a classic game. I do think the Eagles get their offense kind of rolling a little bit, but I also think the Rams they were the only ones who gave Philly a game last year in the postseason. The idea to throw to Adams and Nakua for the Rams, I like that. So, yeah, give me the Rams to cover.
The New York Jets travel south to face Baker and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs home favorites, 6.5 points.
Is this a Tyrod Taylor game?
It is Tyrod.
That's what it's looking like, yeah.
You don't know that.
He doesn't know that. Neither does Bijan or Bijan.
Yeah, it's Bijan.
Come on, guys.
And then when he pronounces himself on NBC, it's Bijan.
Just pick one.
Pick one, man. Little too much. I'll take the Jets to cover.
I did the same thing. I went back and forth. I think the Buccaneers win. I think the Jets cover here.
The Las Vegas Raiders head to the nation's capital to take on the Commanders. 3.5 point favorites are the home team.
So no Jaden Daniels for Washington. So Marcus,
is that for sure?
It's not for sure. Oh, so Fields was ruled out. That
Fields
is for sure.
Fields is out. It is out.
This is iffy status for Jaden Daniels.
Jeez.
Marcus
Don't
Mariota.
Do anything with this kid's out there until you know that answer.
Give me Vegas plus 3.5.
To me, this looks like a number that tells me that they think Jaden is playing. So I'm going to go under that ruling as well, that Jaden is playing in this game. So I'll take Washington, and I'll take them to cover.
Atlanta, 5.5 point favorites on the road at Carolina.
I think Atlanta's good. I think Penix is good. I think the weapons are good. I think they handle Carolina. The public is big on Carolina, so that's another thing that I like in my favor. So I'll take Atlanta in a big way.
Same. Falcons minus 5.5.
And then the last of the 1 o'clock slate, Houston at Jacksonville. The home team Jaguars are the favorites by 1.5. This is Reese's favorite duo of Spiro Dides and Adam Archuleta.
This is the game for those two. Give me the home team here. Jacksonville minus the 1.5. Something I just don't trust Houston.
Yeah, and I think with good reason. It's a real struggle bus for them right now. I think Jacksonville gets it done as well. It's only 1.5. They can win by a field goal, and we're in Wintersville, USA.
Both of the 4:05 games are on CBS. Kevin Harlan, Trent Green will have the call as Denver heads to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. The Chargers 2.5-point home favorites.
Chargers are really good, and we've watched this now for a couple of weeks. I think it continues this week. They're very well coached. I don't think they're coached by the best person to ever coach football, but I think that they are very well coached. So I got the Chargers taking care of business here.
Go Chargers!
Yeah, it's back.
We did it. Hang the banner, baby.
The other 4:05 game has New Orleans heading to Seattle. Big number here. Seattle 7.5-point favorites at home.
Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, samesies. I think Seattle's pretty dang good. They probably deserve better than they got in week 1. And very impressive win at Pittsburgh in week 2. I think that continues. That's a tough spot for Rattler and that New Orleans team who's been right around the cover the first 2 weeks in losses. I think Seattle puts it on them.
Yeah, can they be pesky making the West Coast trip like they have been the first 2? 4:25, both of these on Fox. The Cowboys head to Chicago to face the Bears. The Cowboys 1.5-point favorites.
So this is an interesting one because Dallas is 1-1. They survive on a Brandon Aubrey at home 54-yarder. Chicago gets bombed at Detroit. Everyone's in full-on panic mode. The one thing that Dallas can do, though, is score the football. Caleb Williams ought to get right here, but Chicago's without their number 1 cornerback as well, who's lost for the year. I think Dallas goes into Chicago and the heat gets turned up even higher. Give me the Cowboys.
Same. I just think the Bears are bad.
Yeah, they're bad.
An NFC West matchup here. Arizona is at San Francisco. The home team 2.5-point favorites.
I think if it was 3.5, I'd take the Cardinals, but you're giving me San Francisco. Oh, no, wait, it'd be the other way around.
No, you're right. You're getting San Francisco. Yeah, you can kick San Francisco and get a field goal.
Give me the Niners by a field goal here. It's another Mac Jones game. I do think Arizona's good, but I think you get the Niners at home. Give me the home team.
I see it the same way. I got the Niners in Cover City.
Sunday night football sees Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs head to the Big Apple to take on the Giants. The Chiefs on the road, 6.5-point favorites.
I just don't think Kansas City right now is 6.5 better than anybody, including the Giants. So I like Kansas City winning the game, but I think it's just going to be clunky because they just don't have weaponry. So I like the Giants to cover.
Yeah, I see it the same way. I think Patrick Mahomes is just going to be running around for way too long this Sunday. For any team to even, 10, 14 points might be the highest score.
This is by far the weakest Sunday slate since the season started. I mean, the Monday nighter's a banger. Detroit at Baltimore. But the rest of this, there's nothing here that I'm like.
The Rams, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Pretty good
that's
game
that's
there.
That's the best one.
And then, listen.
How is that not Brady, by the way?
Because Brady is on the call of Dallas.
I think
Chicago.
what happened is they picked that game thinking we're going to get Joe Burrow, J.J. McCarthy, and Justin Jefferson, and it's going to be a matchup between two 2-0 teams.
Oh, that's Nance Romo. But I mean, Brady and Burkhardt are doing Dallas at Chicago.
Dallas is always, 425. That's the way that goes. Yeah. Listen, both of those 425 games, I don't know if it'll be great football, but I think they'll be really competitive.
Yeah, it could be. But the big one, the Monday nighter's fun. That's
a banger.
Really, really, really fun game. Both Ohio teams back in action, of course. The Browns readying to face the Packers. The Bengals hitting the road without Joe Burrow. Get you set for both those games coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keel's calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Did you know that Byers Airport Subaru is the oldest Subaru retailer in the entire country? And we're conveniently located right by the airport. We take pride in treating every customer like family because that's what's kept us around for generations. Right now, drive home a new 2025 Subaru Outback for 1.9% for up to 72 months. Start your journey today at columbussubaru.com. Byers Auto, driving the next generation of buyers. Subject to credit approval. Financing offer term up to 72 months on 2025 Subaru Outback. Cannot be combined with any other incentive. See dealer for details. Offer ends 9/30/25.
They're trained. They're fired up.
Let's do it.
When you need heat, they can't be beat. They're Ohio State's undefeated heating and cooling team. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Jason Aldean, Full Throttle Tour 2026, powered by Patriot Mobile.
When lights come on.
Friday, January 23rd, Nationwide Arena. With Nate Smith.
You set my world on fire.
And Lainey Gardner.
Make it easy.
Jason Aldean. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Jason Aldean Live.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. If you're a sports card fan like me, you've got to check out Midwest Cards in the Arena District, right outside Nationwide Arena. These guys are true collectors themselves, and they've built a shop that lets you experience card collecting in a whole new way. They've got sealed boxes, packs, single cards, signed memorabilia, and plenty of TVs in their lounge. Yeah, they have a lounge. And don't forget the card bar, where you can open packs while you have an adult beverage. It's awesome. Stop by Midwest Cards today and tell them T-Bone sent you.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun. Your way. That means you pick your wager. Will it be $1, $2, a crisp $20? Your call. Like picking your own numbers? Use any inspiration you like. Birthdays, jersey numbers, you name it. And if you don't feel like choosing, there's the Super Quick Auto Pick. With regular promotions that'll get you more bang for your Keno buck, multiple ways to win, prizes galore, and live draws every few minutes. Anytime is the right time to get in on the Keno action. Keno is always fun, your way. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, you know, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Don't forget the sunglasses, and you'll want to have ways to stay cool. Yet again, we have plenty of sunshine today, light winds and highs getting into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. We'll get down into the 60s again tonight with mostly clear skies, and then we end the work week dry and sunny with daytime highs soaring into the low 90s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tybus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion, served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And the Capital Florida Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Westerville North Friday night as the Warriors host Delaware. Coverage starts at 6:30. Kick at 7. After the game, it's Byers Subaru Dublin's overtime with Bake and Lee. Friday nights for high school football right here on The Fan. This is probably the time you start looking at those Joe Idle numbers, aren't you? You're starting to see where you're at.
Oh, I'm always looking at them, but I did, like every Saturday morning when I'm at my other job, I pull up Joe Idle and I do a list of the top 10 computer points teams in all divisions teams here.
Yeah.
In the area. I do that and jot it down and send it to Lee, and we banter about it. But yeah, we're looking for sure.
Yeah, it's getting close to 5. It's week 5, kids. Hard to wrap your head around that. It's week 3 in the National Football League. As soon as the Browns schedule came out, you went, whoa. It's always going to be a brutal way to start. Cincinnati at home, at Baltimore, and then the Packers coming in to Cleveland on Sunday. That's, I think, what made what happened in week 1 just so devastating, because you kind of did everything that you were supposed to do, except for like 6 things, like catching the ball and making extra points and field goals. If you do those things, then you're 1-1 with Green Bay coming to town. But when you're 0-2, it causes a lot of questions to be asked. And obviously, when it's up there and anywhere where you don't have a true franchise quarterback on the roster, the quarterback question gets brought up a lot. The reality is that the team coming in here on Sunday, and this is probably something that we didn't realize, when the schedule was dropped, but you realize now, is that the Green Bay team that's going to be in Cleveland on Sunday might be the best team in football. That's certainly the way that it looks. Certainly when the schedule was released, they did not have Micah Parsons. They do have Micah Parsons now. This is probably the most complete defense in the National Football League. Joe Flacco is going to be the man in charge of navigating that. Here is Joe Flacco on the Packers defense and the challenges.
They're good. They fly around. They get to their zones. They come after the run. They get after the quarterback. They play with a lot of speed. They don't second guess themselves. So they're a good group.
Can't pat it, can't hold it, because they're going to come relentlessly, and Mike is going to be a big part of that. Here's Joe on getting it out quick.
When you build a plan for certain things, and I think when you go through your progressions and you go through your reads, it's always built to get the ball out in certain timing. So I think you just got to kind of rely on your training and going through your progressions and listening to your feet. I think the rest will take care of itself. It's just part of the game. I think there's other things that come into play when you talk about their pass rush, as opposed to worrying about trying to get the ball out super fast. It's just part of your reads, and that should happen on certain plays.
It's always going to be a very tough needle to thread with this Browns offense. It was always going to be something where you need that run to set up the pass. You need to take care of the ball. They probably need to play games in the teens and 20s, which goes back to probably why their intent was for this to be Kenny Pickett all along. But Pickett got hurt. Joe was the best quarterback in camp, and he was the healthiest quarterback, and they had the great relationship with him from a couple of years ago. And so that's where you are now. The other thing that's hanging over all of this is the 2 rookies. And Dylan Gabriel is going to get the first shot at getting some snaps at some point. Ownership has said that this is a year in transition, and that they would really like to see both quarterbacks play regular season games. I don't know if that'll be the case for Shedeur or not, but it's going to be the case for Dylan at some point. This is an 0-2 football team as it stands, with a brutal schedule here in the next few weeks that certainly feels like it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. If you are Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry and the Brain Trust up there, how do you navigate this current edition of the Cleveland Browns with Joe Flacco versus the pull to play kids to see what they're all about, but also how do we make sure we put them in a chance to succeed? Because if you do believe in these guys, and they tell us that they do, if you do believe in them, then you certainly don't want to retard their development by putting them in a spot where they can't be successful. That's the juxtaposition they're in.
I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. I think the London game is the delineation to where it's sit or start Joe Flacco. And conversely, that would be Dylan Gabriel gets the start if Joe Flacco is to sit. I also wonder if they're not saying to themselves, but Joe Flacco will bench himself. Like there will come, maybe it comes this week, maybe it comes next week when they're in Detroit taking the Lions, where Joe Flacco makes an interception or a boneheaded play. Like the pick you saw last week against the Ravens, right? Harken back to the game against the Texans in 2023. It was the divisional round or wild card round, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
He'll play enough to bench himself. And then you take the decision comes easy for you because you can go, all right, that's not getting it done. And then you can come into a post-game press conference and be like, we just didn't think, we thought Joe's play wasn't giving us the best chance to win, and we wanted to see what we had. I think that makes it easier for them. But
there's so many veterans on the roster, too, that it's like, you got to be able to look Joe Bitonio in the eye and Myles Garrett in the eye and Denzel Ward in the eye and say, this is what we're doing and we're better off for it. Nobody this early in the season wants, we got to see what the kids are all about. There's a human element to this, too, that you have to remember. So it's going to be fascinating to see kind of how this plays out because to Reese's point, Green Bay at home this week up in Cleveland, at Detroit next week, then Minnesota, London, at Pittsburgh, then Dolphins in Cleveland. Then it eases. Then you have Dolphins in Cleveland, at Patriots, at Jets, and then there's a bye week in there somewhere. So that's kind of the one that you're looking at a little bit is how do you make sure that this is a soft landing spot or the best possible position to succeed for a rookie quarterback?
And I think the one thing I want with a rookie is if the decision is made before that London game or maybe after that London game, I want to give the rookie the game before the bye week, and then the game after the bye week. Because I want to give whoever the rookie is, whoever the starting quarterback is, I want to give them that experience because I think that's just another thing you can use to help with their development. All right, here's how we're playing into the bye week. Here's how we're using the bye week to get ready for a week, or to get ready for the next opponent when you've got 2 weeks off. Yeah. I think all of that's important in the development of a quarterback, especially if you think one of those two in the room is the future of the franchise. And that, to me, is what this season's all about.
Yeah. I think most fans are probably there. I think it's tougher when you're the people in the building with the adults, I think, and the grown men. Think about Joel Bitonio. Like, he's 0-2. He doesn't want to say, hey, we're not trying, we're not in the chase the playoff mode yet. And so that's the thing that's that'll be tricky for them to kind of navigate. For Cincinnati, they know what they got to navigate. It's going to be a long time before they see Joe Burrow again. They're hopeful that they can see Joe Burrow by the time we get to December and for that stretch run. So it'll be Jake Browning in the interim. Here is Jake on focusing on what he can control.
Yeah, but I think that comes down to how you execute. I think execution breeds a lot of confidence, and so my main goal is just to execute well, play fast, make fast decisions, and be decisive, and try and help us win. And whatever comes as a result of that, or however everybody's feeling right now, I'm pretty focused on just doing my job.
The other thing that's really cool for him is he now knows he's the guy. So this isn't like what happened last weekend where he was thrust into it. Like, he knows he's the guy and he can prepare for that. So last year, he made a bunch of starts, obviously, because Joe was hurt the back half of the season or thereabouts. His statistical accumulation in those starts was pretty dang good. Last year, he was a 70% passer, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's not Burrow, obviously, but the rating isn't in the crapper either. It's a 98.4 rating. That's good enough. And I think knowing you're the starter helps. Here's Jake on that.
I think I've said it a few times. It's honestly a little bit easier because you're the one taking the reps and the walkthrough. You're the one that, if I got input as the backup, Joe has the final say. So now that I'm starting, it's like, hey, I kind of want to do it this way, and then you're more likely to get that adjustment made. Getting the reps in practice, like, all last week, I was playing Jacksonville's offense, and so then get thrown into your offense, and obviously I know it and all that, but it is a little bit different. And so, I think the preparation side of things is just it's a lot easier, and it's really, I think last year it was really hard to study really hard for 17 straight games and not play at all. Just fighting human nature every week. You have to convince yourself, all right, I got to be prepared, because if I get thrown in there, I am what I put on tape. I'm not coming into this as a high draft pick that's got this long runway or anything like that. I got to be prepared. And so now it's you take out the guesswork and you just know you're playing on Sunday. So it's the incentive is to prepare, and all that is a little bit easier.
I love that answer. How candid that is, and a window into the realities of an NFL quarterback. That's great. That idea of I don't have a long runway, I got to go. Yeah, that's really good stuff. Guys, here's their next 6. At Vikings, at Broncos, Lions at home, at Packers, Steelers at home, Jets at home. That's their next 6. 3-3. 3-3. You got 2 on the right side of the ledger right now. Go 3-3 at that stretch. You could probably make 2 and 4 work, but I wouldn't want to get into that. So you go 3-3, and you're sitting at 5-3 through 8 games, because then it's Bears at home, it's at Steelers, it's Patriots. Yeah, I mean, I think that ought to be the goal for Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. They got 2 on the good side of the ledger. Be 500 from here until Burrow comes back, and you got a shot.
It's interesting. And did that path get harder or easier with Carson Wentz in Minnesota this week?
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know if that is or not. Wentz may be more competent than JJ was early on. But yeah, I think if you're a Bengals fan, be 500 without Joe. And when he comes back, you're going to be all right, and you're going to get a shot to make a run at this thing. We've got a Thursday night football game to get you set for. The Blue Jackets opening practice as well, so we'll dip our toe into those waters a little bit coming up next as well in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Listen up, football fans. You won't want to miss this. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose, so you could turn that $200 into something bigger when you bet on money lines, spreads, totals, or player props.
$200 in bonus bets when new customers bet just $5. It's the only betting app I use. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply. In-app only.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Ford versus Ferrari. It's the ultimate showdown, and it's coming to Valley Ford of Columbus. Experience the thrill of Ford GTs and Ferraris for your up-close viewing at the Ultimate Car Show this Friday, September 19th from 6 to 9 p.m. Everyone's invited to marvel at these iconic machines and enjoy live music and food trucks. Show off your special car, too. All makes and models are welcome. Register at the show or online, valleyfordofcolumbus.com. It's the official dealership of Carnell Tate. Be there.
Hey, it's Anthony. Tailgating, hiking stadium stairs, going out after the games. It's a great time of year. It's also the time of year I'm on my feet a lot. And there won't be a time when I don't have my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store in my shoes. They make all the difference for me. They help my feet, my hips, my back. They're not just like regular insoles. They're designed so I get firm yet flexible function. They actually correct poor foot biomechanics and give me even more comfort. The fitting process is simple. From the moment you walk in, the Good Feet store will personalize the process. From the pain that brought you to them in the first place to your lifestyle needs. They'll properly measure your feet and arch size. Then take the free test walk. If you love them, wear them home like I did. Your new arch supports will help you begin living the life you love without your feet getting in the way. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City and learn more at goodfeet.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Thursday night football tonight. This is what I meant. I had this vibe a little bit on the Week 3 slate of the NFL. First 2 weeks, we were basically just dealt bangers. Just every window. Thursdays, bangers. 1 o'clock, there was always a couple. 4:25, you bet. 8 o'clock, primetime windows. Yep. 2 Monday night football games. Give us them all. This one, and honestly, like, it's hard to imagine a scenario where Miami keeps this close. Like I said when we did the Beat the House a couple of minutes ago, I'm basically just so much public money on Buffalo, and the fact that this line hasn't moved much tells me that Vegas must know something here. So that's the only reason I went that way. But this will be a lopsided game. I'd be shocked if it isn't. The Bills have won 12 of their last 13 games against the Dolphins. It has not gone well for them at all. The thing that I think is going to be really interesting this week in the National Football League, we have been in this world over the last, 4 or 5 years where it was Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, and when Burrow's healthy, Cincinnati. Like, they were kind of separated from everybody else. Well, Cincinnati doesn't have Burrow now for an extended period of time. And the Kansas City Chiefs, as currently constructed, are not a threat offensively to be in the league with either Buffalo or Baltimore. Buffalo and Baltimore look perfectly aligned. They look like the 2 best teams in the AFC. They look like 2 of the 4 best teams in all of football. They're not going anywhere. Who joins them? who else can ascend to this? A team that to me looks like they're going to join this group is the Chargers through 2 weeks. Now, I know, Bake, you're a big critic of Herbert, and I get it. Got to win playoff games, got to get there, so forth and so on. But I would argue my means of sticking up for him was that he was coached by perhaps the most in-over-his-head coach in the history of the National Football League to start his career. And while I don't think that Jim Harbaugh, like Colin Cowherd said, is the greatest coach in the history of football, and I think making that argument is patently absurd, but I don't think that was Colin's big point of all of it anyway. The point of it was so that we would all talk about it, it would go viral, and that's why he did it, and I get it. But I think that team's pretty good, and I think Harbaugh, while it took what it took for college for him to have ultimate success, he is somebody who turns around his operations with accountability almost immediately. And my hunch is that this LA team could ascend into this category if they continue on the way they're going.
Maybe Harbaugh can get him there, right? And listen, my Herbert hate will only be proven wrong to me in the playoffs when he wins a meaningful game in the playoffs and when it matters. And, you know, I don't care if Brandon Staley was coaching him or not. I felt the same way about him in college. Like, these Oregon teams were great, and they never got it done when they needed to. So it certainly looks right, though, for the Chargers through 2 games.
It does, yeah.
I was thinking about Los Angeles the other day. Not sure. Oh, because I was thinking about the Cavs. I was trying to look when the Cavs start their season. And I think for, like, not Chargers fans, because I don't actually know how many Los Angeles Chargers fans even exist anymore. But it's almost like, yeah, the regular season's going to be great. But to Baker's point, you got to do something in the postseason. Like, to get to that echelon that you were talking about, Bo, where you think Los Angeles can ascend to, you have to win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You can't blow games in the playoffs. You can't fall on your face in the first round. You can't no-show playoff games. No. You've got to win. You've got to stack playoff games and then knock on the door of an AFC championship. Only then, I think, can you be allowed in that club.
Do you think if I were to give you Buffalo and Baltimore or the field in the AFC, what would you take?
I think I'm taking the Bees.
Knowing that the Wizards in the field.
Knowing the Wizards in the field.
I think I still have to take the field. Just because
of the Wizard?
Mahomes and Reed, and I know it looks bad, but neither of those two teams have gotten over that hump.
Since Patrick Mahomes has been the starting quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, the worst he's ever done to end a season is lose in the AFC Championship game in overtime. Just think about that. It's the worst he's done.
Someone has to stop him.
In the AFC Championship game in overtime. And he's 30, man. He's got 8 seasons of this.
The only 2 quarterbacks that have beat him in the playoffs, in the AFC at least, are Brady and Burrow.
That's it. That's the whole list. And Hurts. And that's the whole list of folks who have done it. Brady's beaten him twice, once as a Patriot, once as a Bucs. You're right. Burrow's the only other one of the AFC who's got a win over him. And then Jalen Hurts got him in the Super Bowl last year. That's the entire list. So it is one of those things where you got to see it to believe it. There was a statistical analysis that I saw that had Brady, Manning, Joe Montana, and Patrick Mahomes through their age 30 season, like where they all were statistically. And Brady and Montana, who I think most people consider the 2 best quarterbacks to ever play football, neither of them statistically were in the vicinity of Manning. And then Mahomes was in the vicinity of Manning, and in certain characteristics outperformed Manning by just in terms of statistically. Obviously, he's outperformed him, wins and losses. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, but just in the standpoint of like statistically did. So I came away with 2 thoughts on that. Number one, what does Mahomes' second act look like? Like, they haven't hit on weapons for him in the last, really since Tyreek Hill left. They haven't brought anybody in who's scary, either that or they can't stay healthy. But he's only 30. I mean, he could play another 10 years at this point. And the reality is that no one has a start to a career like this one.
They stumble for the next couple of seasons. They draft Bo Jackson in the first round out of Ohio State. And they spend the last 5 years of his career running everybody to death.
What would you do if you're them? If I told you, not this year but next, if you go 4-13, you can draft Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do that?
I mean, I would, but I've done it before, so I don't think Kansas City would. I think there are teams that would absolutely say no. I'm in the camp of yeah.
The Josh Simmons pick sure seems to look great for them right now.
Mm-hmm.
He sure seems to be their left tackle for the next 10 years. But I will die on the hill that Travion Henderson would have been perfect on that team and the perfect weapon for Mahomes. Bo, I thought it was very interesting when we talked about Mahomes on his 30th birthday and if he had 10 or 15 more seasons left in him. The whole second act thing that you brought up, because Brady wasn't the Tom Brady that we remember at the beginning. He was more of just a game manager. It was almost like trestle ball, like punt and play defense. Punt and play defense, no mistakes. We'll win that way. You just make the clutch play when we need it, get the big third down that we need converted. And then the second half of his career, it was 40 attempts a game, throw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. It was I thought a really good point brought up by you that most of us don't remember that beginning version of Tom Brady.
No, it's kind of inverted for Mahomes because he was second half Brady first. 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, all of that. Right now, they're not that because they don't have the weaponry. I just was curious, like the New England run, because he's trying to track down Mahomes. He's trying to track down Brady. He's got the 7 Super Bowls, which I don't think anyone will ever get to. And to just see, like, if New England ever had a dip. So he wins the Super Bowl. They go 11-5 in 01, 9-7 in year 2, missed the postseason. Then in year 3 with Brady, 14-2 Super Bowl. Year 4, 14-2. Then they don't win a Super Bowl again. They win the Super Bowl in 2004. They don't win again for 10 years. 2014, they get it back. But their records are 10-6, 12-4, 16-0, 11-5, 10-6, 14-2, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4. Win it in 14 at 12-4. Lose in 2015 despite going 12-4. 14-2 and 16. Win it again. 13-3 and 17. 11-5. Win it again. 12-4. Brady's last year. Brady leaves 7-9, 10-7, 8-9, 4-13. But that's an unbelievable amount of success that they had in New England. So when you think about and Kansas City's on that path with Mahomes. They've got the 3 Super Bowls. They went 15-2 and didn't win it last year, but they're right there, obviously in the Super Bowl game. And so despite the fact they're 0-2, to answer my own question, I'm probably with you, Bake, that I would take the field versus Baltimore and Buffalo because he's part of the field. And you almost have to see him vanquished before you believe it, even though it's looked bad the first couple of weeks out. So, but it's an incredible start. Incredible start for them. They are at Giants, 6.5.
Sunday night football, baby.
Yeah, just win. That's their thing there. Just win, baby. That's all you got to do. Get you 3 things on a Thursday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is a Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flight Auto Glass. Safe to say, with your running backs group, you're getting a lot of production out of a lot of guys.
Yeah, this group's different. We have really 4 running backs that have played now, and last year it was mostly just Travion and Quinshawn, and this year now we have 3 that have played in the majority of the games. Isaiah is the 4th, which will continue to get him reps as the season goes on. But we're going to need them all. I think Carlos has done a good job of recruiting a full room there, which isn't always easy to do. I think they're all a little bit different. We're going to need them all, but you can see as you watch them, they all have the ability to be 3 down backs. You can see them protect, you can see them run routes out of the backfield, and then certainly how they fit into the run game, outside runs, inside runs. But the number one job for these running backs is to take care of the ball and protect the quarterback.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safe Light Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safe Light Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safe Light Repair, Safe Light Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
As we were talking about your running backs, Ryan, certainly it seems as though these guys, like many in the past, have picked up the skill of blocking, especially when a blitz comes and helping keep the quarterback clean.
Yeah, it's a huge part of being a running back, and not only just the protection, but also running routes and being a part of that. You've seen us hit some check downs and things during games, and staying on schedule with that is great. So and understanding how the protection works is important because it allows you to quickly either pick up the blitz or get into your route. And when you're the fifth progression or whatever into a route, or you can pull somebody out in zone coverage, that all adds up over time. So we have our protection meetings, and the running backs are a big part of that, and they know when a blitz comes, you're either going to put strength or weakness on film, and the other teams are going to look at that and say, hey, this is a guy that we can take advantage of, or this is a guy who does a great job in protection, and then they'll start looking somewhere else. So we need the running backs to be a big part of the passing game.
Yeah, there's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyota has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through September 30th, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.75 APR financing. Or you can get 5.75 APR financing on hybrid models with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
Jackets practicing today? We're off or go?
On the
ready
ice?
to go.
Yeah, they had Group 1 practice this morning from 9:15 to 10:15, and then Group 2 hits the ice here about 15 minutes after we're off the air.
I'm not quite ready for that. I know it's around this time, and I'm sure, Bake, you're chomping at the ice to get after it.
I'm pumped. Let's go.
I know. I do wonder if, this is a topic for another day, but I do wonder if every sport other than football ought to look at shortening their season. They won't, because they need the gate in those other sports more than football does. But that's a long haul, man.
Well, Bo, if you remember correctly, the new CBA was just approved, and they're going to 84 games next season.
Because they need the gate.
So
they need 2 more games, another home gate. So, yeah, it's too much. It's too long. Too long of a season there. All right, Reese, what do you got on the poll?
I was telling Baker, I think the daily fan poll we have today is the most lopsided fan poll that doesn't include Ohio State maybe ever. It asks, who do you think wins tonight's Thursday night football game in Buffalo between the Bills and Dolphins? 95% say the Bills are winning that game.
They're gonna, but this is why I took the points. I mean, like, you don't see earlier this week it was like 90% of the bets were on the Bills, and I still think it's like 78% of the money is on Buffalo. Like, you just don't build those casinos out there by getting that wrong. And the line never moved. Just stayed. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to imagine Miami covering, but
I have a hard time them keeping it within two.
I know. Me
two
too.
Scores.
I do too. I feel the same way, and yet I saw the numbers and I followed them. All right, time for three things on a Tuesday. Hit it, guys. Thursday.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
I don't know if this is true or not, but I just find it perfect. In regard to hockey starting and the NHL and camps and all of it, I saw this tweet this morning. In 1874, the first cup was introduced in hockey to protect a man's nether regions. In 1974, the first helmet was used in hockey. So in other words, it took 100 years for man to realize that the head was just as important. And that's about right.
Priorities, Bo.
That's right.
So we talked about the Blue Jackets starting training camp today. I know we don't need to do any college basketball on this program, but in honor of Jacob Reimer's kid running out of the tunnel earlier this week, the Big Ten at 4 o'clock today is going to announce their conference schedules, dates and times for men's and women's hoops. So you have that to look forward to.
Ask Jacob when KU is, because I got to start getting that trip planned for Beamsy. I need the Kansas.
Listen, he's on Big 12 paternity leave. We don't need to be talking college basketball.
Well, I said in honor of the child running out of the tunnel.
First thing for me, Bo, speaking of things maybe we're not ready for, you mentioned the high school football season is going to be halfway through after this week.
Yeah.
That means state football championships will be here before we know it. I got to go straight from here to the OHSAA for a lunch meeting about getting ready for our postseason plans this year with the state championships and all of that fun stuff.
All right, number 2 for me. All right, I'm going to make this my number 2. I want you to ask your folks at the OHSAA if they will do me this favor. There is one of NBC's buddies is a photographer. He takes photographs of their 8th grade games, and it's a nice little enterprise that he has. And I thought it would be pretty cool, and of course you don't need a credential for 8th grade football, but I thought it'd be pretty cool if I could get him a credential from the OHSAA. Just make it blank, and just like a sideline credential. As my little gift. You think you can get that done? Tim and the guys can get that
we
done?
can definitely get that done.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need.
We'll even get his name on it.
I'll get you the name.
Second thing for me, Guardians. 1:10 today. Breaking out the brooms in Detroit for the last time in the Motor City this season, maybe.
I'm almost at my wit's end with it.
Come on.
I'm going to give you a little grace.
Just hop on. It'll be a fun ride for the next couple of weeks.
It was a little infectious yesterday when I picked up the food and I saw the people at the bar and they were all jacked up and it was a little infectious.
They're back at the corner of Carnegie and Ontario tomorrow for a 7-game homestand. I will tell you right now, it will infect the Bishop household this next week.
Yeah.
Come on, get the boys on the bandwagon, Bo.
They don't even know who's on the team.
I think at
follow
school,
any baseball at all.
Jose Ramirez, that's all you need to know.
They're going to come home and they're going to have conversations with you. You'd be like, where's this been?
I don't. We'll see. No promises.
Second thing for me, I know CB was in here working late last night, and he's been a hardworking dude with everything going on, but he was listening to the show, and he confirmed this Crable's joint in Urbana, the sliders are top notch. He has confirmed.
Okay.
Maybe we need to make a trip.
I'll tell you. Mike talked about doing this once. Yeah, that's what you got to do. I'll tell you. Mike talked about doing this once with like all sorts of cool food stuff all around Ohio. It is that would be very fun. I would love to do that. Like go have the best burger in Urbana or the best pizza in Worcester or whatever. I mean, I'd be in for that. The one thing on my bucket list I have to do is I've got to see a MAC football game. I've got to see Coldwater Marion local. At some point, I got to check that off the bucket list.
I feel like this is a hell of a podcast, and Dom needs to be involved somehow.
Also, do we
you
know
just
where
blew the suits' minds?
Do we know where Chopper 10 is? Could we get that gassed up and ready to go?
Dust it off?
Yeah.
We used to have 2 of them.
Okay, well.
Finally for me. So we get home from all the football and picking up the food and all of this stuff, which is anybody who's got kids and youth sports knows this is how it is. So like we finally reconfigure as a family at like 7:30, slam down food that I picked up at a restaurant and then on our way. And it comes time to it's like homework. Everybody's got homework. And my wife goes, well, it's homework. Will you help Bootsy with this? I'm going to help Beamsy with this. And then NBC needs help with this. Of course, she calls them by their real names. And I go, no. And she goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, they're not entitled to my help. They can start doing it. If they run into a problem, I will intervene. My kids think they're entitled to me sitting there doing their homework with them. No, not. You do it. It's your homework. I did it 30 years ago.
If last thing for me, if you've been struggling with Biff Poggi or Poggi, well, Angelique Chingalis cleared it up. You can go back and listen to that interview wherever it is you do your podcasting. Also on YouTube, Biff Poggi. She cleared that up. She's the expert.
Yep.
You guys know that music means the Ryan Day Show is coming up next. Stay tuned after. Rothman and Ice will have some instant reaction to that. It's also a Gold Jacket Thursday with Randall McDaniel. Oh, my goodness, AR heaven.
AR's head. It's pure purple excitement. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Tinny.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for Dom.